in
I'm
their
going
piano.
live. I'm going live. Someone turn up the music.
Hold on, don't go live yet because
We
my
are
headphones just.
live.
We are live.
We are
We are
live.
live.
Welcome to the Home
Don,
Theater Hub.
way to start
Will.
the home theater hub. Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Home Theater Hub. And as soon as we got live, Don decided to fondle with his headsets. I don't know what's wrong with that guy, but it's good to have everyone back. How you doing, Carson?
I'm doing good. I'm ready to chill with the guys and pop a top, as I usually
Yeah.
do to open the show.
I know you got your latest.
Sour raspberry today from Sago. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Somewhere anyway.
Is it a local brand? Because you always on the
It's
local
not
brew.
local to me, but I'm assuming it's a micro brew out of. Whenever I finish, I'll name the state, but it's not local Kansas City. It's from somewhere else, but
Yeah, okay.
it's raspberry sour, so it sounded good. So,
Yeah, okay.
uh,
Well, while we wait for Don to figure out
anything
his.
new in your home theater this week? I know you're always adding stuff and doing changes, unlike me.
No, nothing new this time, but I ended up finishing up that video for the SVS in wall. So, Don, I finished it before your headphones got fixed. Not even your home theater. We finished that. So, yeah, good subwoofers. I like them, and it was good to finally get that video out. And it was just a 6 months impression. Don, are you finally with us? No, we can't
No,
hear you, man.
Don's having technical difficulty. That's all
Ah,
right.
man.
Don is probably working on his
Remember,
headphones
remember
like he
what
works on
remember what
his
Eric
computer.
said last week? Eric said we're gonna get to this week and then find out it wasn't technical. It was a human, human,
You know what they
human
say?
issue.
The ID10T error, maybe.
Yeah, but we're gonna have a fun packed show this evening. We have a returning special guest who is going to be giving us a tour of his home theater, and then we have another special guest in the house, and he will be returning back in another week for a dedicated show on himself, but he decided to join us this week. So I will go in and then pull in our guest while Don continues to figure out his headset. And let's see. I was going to give him a few seconds, but he's not ready. But yes, we have a full house. Welcome to another week on the show. We got Adrian at the top right, the top left, upscale. He has a wonderful YouTube channel. If you've never had a chance, we're going to put a link in the chat at some point so that you can go check out his channel. And I'm going to mute Don while he figures out his headset. And then we have Mr. Giles McCoy.
Hey, everybody.
That's the big guy, the biggest celebrity in the house tonight, joining us as our special guest. And we have Eric. And we have Dr. Gene and just myself. Man, I got to introduce myself sometime, but thank you guys for joining us, man. How's everyone going? How's the week been?
It's a big, heavy week. I mean, this is the lead up to Expona, right? So everybody's kind of going nuts, and I'm kind of watching the periphery as all the brands are, circling around trying to get stuff lined up, and I don't know. It's a big show month, so good times.
Did you guys
you go down to Expona, right? You're gonna be there, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I'll be there Wednesday night.
Oh, okay, that's good.
I think SBS did their official launch of their new line, publicly this evening. That was pretty cool. I like them. They look pretty good. May or may not be my cup of tea. I'll listen to them at InWave and decide. So
those the new towers?
Yeah,
the new Ultra Evolutions.
Mm-hmm. Nice. They look cool.
Yeah, they look amazing. They really do.
Yeah.
Can't say I've heard them. I mean, I'm a big fan of. I got 7 SVS subs in my house, so I'm a big fan.
Yep.
That's a few.
Yeah. I got a lot of home theaters.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to hearing them at Airwave. I think they haven't sent out any review samples just yet, but I think I saw on one of the Facebook groups that one of the guys had already received his
Yeah,
order.
there's a guy that
So
got a set
it's
of the
yeah,
Titans.
the Titans, right? So
Yep.
we have a couple in the wild. So, but I haven't seen any with any reviewers just yet. I think they were actually back ordered right from day one. So
Yeah, I talked to Nick about that, and he said that they are fulfilling all of their customer orders before they send out any review samples at all, because there was a big order line for the line.
wow, yeah,
Yeah, and that honestly that makes sense in multiple factors, especially marketing, because no matter what, people, if they're on the fence, if they hear one thing that may not be like perfection or something, it may sway their decision off of someone else's bias, really. So it's really smart to, especially if there's a demand for them, and they are. I mean, they're as good as their older line, which
yeah.
to me sounded really good. A lot of people say they might be a little bright, but there's things you can do about that. But I always liked them. I liked them last year at M-Wave, and their customer service is beyond many other brands. I mean, above and beyond, like 3 or 4 times what other brands that cost more. So they have that going for them, hands down. And everybody loves their subwoofers, so they're a house brand for pretty much anybody.
Yeah, and I think there's been sort of a silent anticipation for them to come out with a new lineup, right? I thought they
Yeah.
were gonna come out with like a 21, in subwoofer or something like that. I didn't see them coming out with like an entire brand new line of of speakers. I thought they were gonna give us like an 18 or 21, but so it's good to see, but I think a lot of people are excited, looking forward to it. But like all things, right? You got to wait till we start seeing those review samples and
Yeah.
seeing the
And
testing and
they may do a bigger subwoofer, but they are such a house name. And once you start getting into those big, gigantic subwoofers that are just for, overhead, that the only thing you're really going to do is show off with.
yeah,
In reality, the supply and demand for those are going to be, fairly expensive compared to their other brands that are, known for almost one of the best bang for bucks in subs that you can get. So it kind of contradicts their current, marketing for their subs. So that it would be very tough for them, but they could to match the new, speaker series that they have,
yeah.
so it's possible. We'll see.
Yep. We got Chris, my home theater, in the chat. Thanks for joining us. We have Living with Scott and Kat. Thanks for joining us. AA is also in the chat. Thank you guys for joining us on another evening at the home theater hub. You got your,
Oh, actually, one of
you
my
got your
my
headset?
regulars, double A's on, so
Yeah.
he's on my So welcome, double A.
Yep. Are you good, Don?
I believe so.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Man, I thought it was
Hey,
going to
man,
be a good show, and here he is.
I was thinking that we were going to reverse roles here, and I was just going to run behind and let you talk from now on because you were doing such a good
Yeah,
job
it
with
is.
that.
It's working really good.
Don't push your luck, man.
was-
Don't. I would even push my luck. So don't push
Well, as you guys know, I was having problems with my mixer board last week. I was getting a weird echo back, and had it all figured out. And my headphones weren't charged, so during the green room while we were in the back here, I changed the output on my MacBook to the speakers on the MacBook, and then I went back, and then all my settings were gone. So I had to go back in and reprogram it again. But good news is technical support from Zoom was really, really helpful because I believe all of the feedback issues are gone, and I can now use this board to run the show.
And what else did you get, man?
You sound
'Cause
great.
that show last week prompted a lot of changes. So what else did you get? Because it looks like
Yeah,
you
so
went out there, you got something else.
yeah, so this week, as I mentioned last week, I had an inferior product, right? So went ahead and got rid of the 2019 MacBook and got the new MacBook Max, MacBook Pro Max. So it's
M2 or something, or
The
M2.
M3.
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 Oh,
Oof.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
So it's kind of like the car, huh?
You
yeah,
got
30,
the nice one. Yeah.
30 core, 1 terabyte, so 36
That'll do
gigs
it.
of RAM. Yeah, we're cooking with grease now. So
Yeah.
bring
so
on
now
all
you can-
10
now
guests.
you can
Put
host
everybody
You
in.
can host 10
I'm
guests
a,
because
I'm a
the
PC
previous
guy.
one was limited
I
to
got a
4
Ryzen
guests.
5950.
Okay.
It's,
Jesus. Yeah. Okay.
16
Yeah.
cores.
So
Yeah.
now we're really gonna find out if Don's problem was ID10T or if it was the machine.
No, so
don't know
it
with
definitely
the way
was
the
the
headphones
Zoom.
started.
Yeah, it definitely was the Zoom. I called them, and it's a known issue that they have, because they on channel number 7 you bring in the feed, but it also comes back out. So when I was not speaking last week, the output of my mic was actually moving when you guys were talking, so that's why I was getting a double feedback. So I don't know, just technical mambo
Yep,
jumbo.
it's all good, man.
Yeah,
It's a new week. It's a new
That's
day.
in the
So
past.
yeah, it's in
that's
the
So
all
past.
gone.
We'll just wait for
Gene,
what
what's going
happens
on, man?
next week. But
Not
Gene,
much. Thank you for having me on. How you guys doing? Feel like I've been away for a while.
you
yeah,
have
Yeah,
been.
man.
We're like,
I
who is
know.
this
I'm.
guy? We need
you've
an
been out there
introduction.
bringing new babies into the world,
Yep.
man. How's he been?
I got sick for a while too.
Oh.
It's just been It's that's what happened when you have kids. They get sick
Oh,
and then
yeah.
you get sick. It goes around the house.
Yeah.
So I'm finally feeling a little bit better. But how you guys doing tonight?
Good. We
Good.
thank
Good.
you for joining us. We appreciate
No,
it.
thank you for having me.
I have 3
How you
kids
doing,
myself.
Giles?
So
I'm doing great, thanks.
Yep.
So let's since Adrian's in the top of the screen, at least on my screen anyway. I don't know about your guys' screen. We almost got a Brady Bunch thing going on here, but since Adrian's at the top of the screen, Adrian, talk a little bit about your channel and what you got going on over there.
I don't know. I've been doing it for about 2 or 3 years, sort of off and on. I mean, I never really posted regularly. I guess I've sort of, I don't know. It's like a hobby. Obviously I have a day job, so whenever I find the time, and I've always been into this kind of stuff ever since I was a kid. Like, we're talking elementary school. I already had a receiver. I had like a Kenwood 50-watt receiver, and I think some KLH towers. My dad got me into this stuff, and I've never stopped. I've just
awesome.
escalated to the point where I am now, to where I have, an 11 bed layer, 6 overhead system, with acoustic panels, and I just plus I have video distribution throughout the house. I don't know if you guys heard about Lona, Lona video matrix, whatever. So I run like all my home theaters through my one closet, like in my home theater closet. So I guess I'll show you next time.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
yeah, just sort of like a hobby. I just like this stuff, and just an enthusiast trying to do my thing. That's nothing. That's what I do.
So where can they find your channel? What's the name of your channall? And are you
It's-
on any other socials?
Now, I don't really do. I'm not really never been like a social media guy. I guess I just do YouTube. I don't have Instagram. I mean, I do have Instagram, but I just don't really look at it. And Facebook, I just don't really. I think I subscribe to I'm like a DC area guy. I don't know. So I think I have like DC audio. I have an audiophile group where I go. I also have like another watch channel too, believe it or not.
Oh,
So
okay.
I feel like there's like a Venn diagram with like home theater enthusiasts that seem to like watches too, and cars.
Yep.
Yep.
There's like I'm
Motorcycles
sort
for
of
me.
in what
I said motorcycles for me. So,
motorcycles, right? Motor
yeah.
vehicles, automobiles
some
of
sort
some
of
sort.
mechanical work on device, right?
never been a motorcycle guy, but total respect. I've taken my car like racing, that kind of thing a few times. Stopped doing it. I haven't done it for a couple of years, but I used to do it here and there. So another little hobby.
Very good. So what's the name of your YouTube channel?
Oh, it's Upscale. Should I put it in the chat or something? I mean,
Yeah,
there it is. Somebody put it in. Upscale
the
reviews.
chat and I brought it up on the screen.
I don't. So you know how like YouTube is? You like start doing. I came up with the name Upscale because initially my plan was to just like take like older video and make it look better, like with AI and stuff, and just post it. And then YouTube didn't like that. And then one day I decided I already had I recently moved. This is like a newer house, and I lived in an old house, and I already had a home theater. So I thought, let me just give a tour of my home theater. I like the stuff anyway, and I'll just talk about it. And it was like pretty much my first big video that I did on the channel, and sort of took off. Didn't necessarily blow up, but it's got over 40,000 views. For me, that isn't bad for my channel. If I break 100, that's like a lot, like for me.
Yeah, I think you got a little over 6,000 subscribers. So hey, congratulations!
Close to 7, yeah.
Yeah,
it's been. I'm not really chasing it. I'm just doing my thing. I'm not following the rules you're supposed to follow.
And when you make those controversial videos like the last one that you did, you're right.
That's what I hear. I mean, I if we're gonna get into it, I have mad respect, for the company. I want to get one. I really do. Yeah. I really do. But I already, like a lot of folks out there, I already have my DIY system set up. Or I have a massive server that I set up, and I got a couple of Zydoos. My evolution led me to Zydo, because I used to use Kodi for the longest time, and then I discovered Zydo, and it just works really well. I actually used Sapiti for a while too, but then they obviously went under. I wasn't the biggest fan of Sapiti. I just felt it kind of was a little laggy. Zydo is a little better. It's still not perfect, but I'd say it works pretty good for what I need.
Now I need to know this video. Is it the? I just look up your channel. I apologize. I'm not a subscriber, but I am now. Literally right now. Is it the K-Scape video?
Prepare to drink.
Yeah. It's gotten a lot of. Not a lot of views, but a lot of passion,
a lot of attention. Right?
All right. Yeah, well, I'm gonna go ahead and drop so I can watch Adrian's videos for the rest of the night. I'm done.
We have a joke on the channel that whenever we use the K-Scape word, we take a drink, because at some point it was almost looking like a commercial.
In the comments, a lot of people mention, I'm sure there are a lot of good reasons why it costs so much. It's just, and I get it. I totally get it. I don't know. Probably. Because back in the day, didn't they have a disc-based system? Long time ago, you actually had to have a disc loaded into the device. Yep. Wasn't it a carousel kind of thing, or in the very beginning?
They can hold up to 500 discs back in the day, and you just pop it in, and it's stored for you, and then it play directly from it, and it's just pretty much providing a menu system for you to do it back then.
That's what I remember. I remember when it came out, I was incredibly intrigued, but it's always been a very niche. Yeah. I guess my argument would be because the writing's on the wall, physical media is probably going to end at some point. Yeah. It could maybe never end. It could be in 5 years.
They're already stopping it in Australia. Australia's had Disney. I think a couple other companies have already said they're not going to be selling physical media in Australia any longer.
Best Buy, that was a big one. I used to buy all my stuff there. I don't know if you guys did it, but their Black Friday deals were incredible. I think I bought 70 something discs one Black Friday.
Wow.
Wait, are they not doing physical media anymore? Best Buy?
They're not.
They stopped. They have the new releases, but they're not stacking up stuff. Yeah.
Same with Target too. They're pulling off from Target also.
Yeah.
Yep. Target's still just new releases now. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead,
those of you that want some more information about Kaleidescape, we actually are going to have Mr. Adam Gold on from Kaleidescape on the 25th.
I would love to see that.
He's scheduled. So if you want to join in and come back on the show, obviously we're going to do your tour next week, Adrian. If you have the link now, you're more than welcome to pop in. We can have up to 10 guests. People pop in and pop out. So definitely appreciate you joining us tonight.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. No problem.
So I actually have a little bit of a dilemma because Don, that I've been collecting movies on Kaleidescape for the past several years now, and I also have a big physical media collection that I use my Zapiti to watch. But now, some of you guys know I've recently invested in the new Apple Vision Pro, which is the VR set. So it brings another range to my plan, because initially my plan is, okay, I'm gonna,
this is what I got.
I know physical media is gonna be perfect. So I know physical media is gonna be out the window. So where am I gonna invest my movies in, right? Because we all have a collection of movies that we want to have on tap. So Kaleidescape seemed to be the logical sense, and I bought a lot of movies on Kaleidescape. And
that's the way I see it. I think they should broaden the customer base. They should be less of a Lamborghini and Ferrari, more of a Mercedes, BMW, Lexus. Not be
going to get there.
Not be for the ultra rich. Be for the guy that works hard and be like, I'll drop $5,000 if it's good.
Yeah.
On it. And another thing to mention, when they separated the server from the player, the price went up 50%. That usually does not happen with tech.
Nope.
Here's my biggest challenge with K-Scape is coming from somebody with an IT background. I do it for a living. I was hands-on for lots of years. I'm in management now. And I know what these enterprise discs cost. I don't know what discs they're using. I know what these discs cost. I know what kind of markup they've got in this hardware. And I'm good. I'll give you 20%. I'll give you 25% markup, right? But the problem that I've got with it is what you're also paying for is all of the deals they had to make with all of these not production companies, movie companies, in order to be able to even be able to offer this, right? So now we're paying the $20 for a movie, that all of that R&D they had to do, and I'll pay for the R&D. That's my 25%, right? But the challenge that I've got is what they sell is a higher quality video audio experience on some of these titles. I know that they admit it's not the same across the board, but some of these
10
titles
to 20% better than disc.
Exactly.
Something
but here's my problem. I've spent lots and lots of hours at my much wealthier than me Dallas Home Theater Room group members listening to Kaleidescape, listening to movies such as Mad Max that we've all watched a bunch of times, Ready Player One, and I audibly, visually can't tell a difference. And maybe it's because I'm old, whatever, but I just can't tell a difference. So am I going to spend? And it goes back to your point of, I would love K-Scape or something similar to be widespread because it's a very good solution. We're a very niche crowd of people that are going to want the highest end. It could save us. And I agree with you, but they are making a Lamborghini and this needs to be a BMW. I'm going to take it back.
That's what I was proposing.
They need
just go down market a smidge, just enough to get a few more people, because I think it'd be for their more than anything. I mean, I don't know anything about their finances. Everybody seems to think they're doing well, and I'm sure they are. I don't have no insight into that, but I think if they broaden their customer base, it's just better. For them in the long run.
It would be better if a lot of people, that's the same thing, like Eric said. tech guy like me is like, man, am I gonna pay this much for a drive? It's just it's hard for me to, and I know most of us here, IT guys too. Giles is also in the tech space, right? It's like I don't know, man. And then I thought it was funny because we saw that they released a brand new one. Is it 25 terabytes?
The 96 terabyte thing.
96 terabyte.
Yeah,
And I saw-
27,000.
Yeah, and I saw the price point.
How many do you want, Gene? I got you.
I know,
How many
right?
do you need?
I need two. I need two, Don. Two only.
Giles probably already has one. How many?
Giles
Didn't they
got
have
at least
something for
three
like
in his
90
house.
grand? You get two of them plus every single 4K video that they ever put out for 90 grand or something. Some ultimate package.
It's two 96s and two
That is
Strato
the
S's.
Bugatti right there. Of
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I just rebuilt. I have my in-house built server. I just rebuilt it, and I would consider it high end. It's i9 whatever. It's got 18 terabyte drives in it. I spent $4,000 on this server, motherboard, power supply, everything. For anybody who's not technical, the challenge that we're all speaking to from a technical perspective, that if you don't have that experience, is those drives are, what are they, a couple $100 for an 18 terabyte enterprise drive?
$200, $250.
Yeah, something in there. And they're just charging tens of thousands of dollars. And again, I'm good with, I'll pay for your R&D. I'll give you a markup. Make the markup reasonable. What they're doing is, again, it's a Lamborghini markup.
But I think the argument is that they don't make any money from the movie sales at all.
Correct.
So
I've heard
the
about
main
that.
profit is from the hard drive. So zero money from any of the movies that you buy on Kaleidescape. So the only way for them to make
I want to
the
hear
difference-
Giles' perspective on this, but
because
and then I
K-Scape, right?
Oh yeah, I have a very strong perspective on this. So okay, I'll get into it. So I've worked in technology for years and years and years as well, right? So I think of Kaleidescape very much along the lines of VxRail, right? And then maybe what's happening with the purchase of VMware now and the raising of price there. So you're not buying the hardware. I mean, that philosophically, they are charging for a service, and this hardware is part of it. And it's kind of the first hurdle to get into the Kaleidescape ecosystem. So part of me agrees. Obviously, the amount of money that you spend on their hardware is much more than the cost of the components, right? There's no question there. But what you're really buying into is the Kaleidescape ecosystem and the Kaleidescape methodology for watching movies. And I'm a very specific type of Kaleidescape user. So I'm not into, let's get two 96 terabyte Kaleidescape arrays, because I feel like I have to have all my movies on site all the time. My point of view is I want just the smallest Kaleidescape system that I possibly can have. And I'm going to have maybe 10 demo movies downloaded, and then I'm only going to download the stuff that I want to watch. So I don't need to have immediate access to 5,000 different things. I don't consume like that. Some people are like, I don't know what I'm going to watch, so I want everything available all the time. I don't work that way. So I think it makes it a little bit easier for me to be in the Kaleidescape ecosystem, because I don't feel like I have to invest in the big chunks of hardware, right? Yeah. For me, the smallest one they have is more than I'll ever use.
Which I believe is what,
raise the price.
8 terabytes.
No,
I've got a 6. I've got an old.
So you got the Strato S.
Yeah, that's
Strato
what I'm saying. Like, but when they went from the 6 to the 8, they went up $3,000.
Yeah, and if I were buying, I would just find a used Strato S 6 terabyte and buy that.
I've been trying to find one, and I've really haven't.
Yeah, they're difficult to find. John Anthony and myself, we actually found a deal of a lifetime. We had a guy that was selling 2 Strato S's because he was upgrading to the new system, and we were like, "Hey, we'll take both of them off your hands," and
that's sweet.
Yeah,
yeah.
So,
I need to buy a C so I can
Giles,
watch.
let me just say, Giles, for me, and again, for this perspective you've already heard, and I go back and forth on this. So I'm part of the build. I don't know if you're familiar with Build Montage, Australian.
Yeah, I know.
I bring them up like every week, but that's where a lot of my experience comes from. And we go back and forth on this topic, right? If K-Scape, and I'm just being transparent here, if K-Scape was transparent to the point where we're like, look, that 10-20% improvement that we're advertising, you may or may not see it, but what we're selling is convenience. If they came at me like somebody who's knowledgeable in I understand there's R&D involved. I understand the deals they had to make. I understand that they need to mark up the hardware. They have to make their money, right? Make your money. But come at me and tell me you're selling me convenience. If you
Well, the
if
good
you're
news
selling
is
the convenience, then I
the
get
good
it.
news is we'll be able to ask all these questions
All
at
those
the end of the
questions.
month.
Yeah, and also, and I think that is also the message that K-Scape has tried to send. I think the disconnect is that some of its mouthpiece have took that story to a different direction. I don't think that's the official stance of the company itself, right? They're not telling you that, look, it's 100% better or anything like that. At least I haven't heard any of their reps say it, but I think that some of the mouthpiece that they've used, especially in our YouTube space, were the ones that necessarily created that narrative, and that's what has created the kind of backlash, not backlash, but pushback, and a different perspective from what I think the company really wants it to be. It's a device.
So the
Look,
company
it's a
sells
device
on a
that I
number of
want.
different. Yeah, they sell on a number of different kind of philosophies. One of them is the convenience, although I think they really refer to it more of an experience, creating a better viewing experience, and which starts before you ever watch the movie. It's the procurement experience and that kind of thing. When it comes to the quality, for I think 99.99999, because I'm sure there's one outlier. For the most part, no one will be able to tell the difference between Kaleidescape and a 4K disc, right? I've side by
I made
side.
that argument. Even streaming, would be hard.
Well, I get a difference between streaming and 4K disc, although the gap has really come down.
That's what I'm
correct.
It's mainly the audio.
Video.
I think that all depends on the size of the screen you're viewing. If you're viewing a home 60-inch screen or 65, even streaming, you're going to have a hard time for the average consumer. Sure, us people that have 150-inch screens, yeah, I can tell streaming versus disc versus, even K-Scape. But it's a tough discussion because the reality is the only complaint people have with K-Scape is the price.
Yeah.
That
itself is a testament of how good the product is.
It is a great
I've
product.
never heard anyone complain or make any other complaints about it. It's not for me. I could buy a boatload of discs and I would walk my happy ass to a single Blu-ray player for all the discs I could buy for even the Strato S. But that's me. I would rather enjoy and consume the content than the convenience. But for those people,
I would challenge that. I don't think that people that use Kaleidescape enjoy the content any less than someone who watches on disc.
I didn't say no. I don't know what I said. I would rather not spend the money on Kaleidescape.
You'd rather buy the discs
and buy the disc so I can enjoy.
Buy the 400 discs you could buy.
I could enjoy 40,000, or 4,000 discs of movies versus Kaleidescape and then maybe 10 movies.
That goes back to
not that they're going to enjoy the movies any less. That's definitely not what I said because the content.
My only interest is I want to future proof. I want to future proof my system. More than anything.
The problem that all these people are going to run into, because in other countries it's not illegal to back up or do any of that. So
that's
people are willing to pay if it's convenient. No one would
above the law.
No one would even do a digital backup if when I bought a movie, I automatically could use it on any of my USB devices or media players. I would never even back up a disc ever. But once you make it difficult for someone to consume, that point, they will pirate it. They will pirate everything, just like people start pirating stuff from Netflix because, oh, well, I signed up for Netflix because they had this series. Oh, and now it got sold over to this other company. Well, F you. Now I'm not interested in chasing my content. No one is interested in doing that. It makes it inconvenient to any user.
Yeah.
Then that's going to be the tough part of once they go fully digital, because people say, all right, then nobody's buying anything. We're just going to be a big community of sharing. But then you're taking money from the artists or, the writers and the stuff like that. So, you don't want to do that because then you don't get any content. So it's more than just, that's why Kaleidescape is expensive. You're paying all these licensing and encryption, to make sure it's legal.
And I also think,
it's a kiss cam now.
I almost respect you now that someone respects you.
But I also think that this is a hobby where people can pay $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for a single floor standing speaker. So it's not like a lot of people in the hobby are not willing to pay for.
Oh yeah. People that have Kaleidescape, they weren't questioning whether or not it's worth it.
I think it's mostly a price to performance issue, and also I always say this: no matter how great your product is, if your mouthpiece, if the people that are going out there and speaking about your product are not speaking about it clearly, or are somehow been suspected of exaggerating your product, you will get pushback. It doesn't matter how great your product is. If the people who are speaking up for you are not communicating clearly, or are telling you that, oh, it's going to be like an 80% difference in picture quality, and most people are like, I don't think so, you're going to get pushback.
I don't think they've ever said that much, but
I will say when I went to CEDIA this what was it, 2023 when we went, Ike? Was it?
Yep.
Anyways, when we went to CEDIA last, I went up to the K-Scape booth specifically because they had several really large screens, and I was casually not getting with the sales guy like I was going to buy something, but I told him I want to see if I can tell a difference in the quality, and he told me it's going to be night and day. He told me that. And so I think Ike is 100% on point. It's not night and day. And I think if it came down to, I think it's Adrian's point here, where it's sell it like you're future-proofing yourself. Because physical media is going away. 90+% of U.S. population and likely global population doesn't care about watching a disc versus streaming. They'll just watch streaming. They don't care.
The kids today don't care.
Yeah, they're watching on their phone.
Here's the other problem right here.
Kaleidescape
is only in certain countries. Kaleidescape's only in certain countries. They're in the UK.
Yeah,
in the US.
It's not a future proof.
Younger people, the future market, they watch on their phone. They don't even care about TV.
I think the future market, they're gonna watch on this.
Well, no, I don't know. That's a little ways away, because it's the only reason I say I agree that is going to be eventually the future, but that's very distant, because that isn't invited. Imagine going to a bar and everyone has those on.
Yeah, that's my whole thought with those.
Is that in your mind. That will not happen for many years.
You're talking about
you can make wait you can make that fat girl at 2 a.m. look really good with the screen with
a filter.
Just alienating. Just alienating.
Does that. I don't know what you're talking about. You already got this in your cup. I don't know why you paid $3,000 for that.
See, you're buying the K-Scape of that whenever all I do is buy another 6-pack and I get the same effect. So it's like
I would though like to apologize for the hundreds and hundreds of women that are watching this stream right now.
Oh my gosh.
The demographics are on our side.
You're flirting with the public women now.
Oh man.
Trying to get it in.
All right, let's move on from Kaleidescape. Let's get to the guests of
I know
the
I'm
hour,
almost drunk now that I...
Mr. Giles. Mr. Giles, what's going on
everybody.
your channel over there?
Oh man. Well, so folks that don't know, you can find me on socials at Giles McCoy, and that's Jiles. Don't ask why my parents spelled it that way, but probably because I'm from Alabama. And or at the Giles McCoy for Instagram, X, and all the other ones. It's just at Giles McCoy on YouTube, but that's my primary. You know, it's a big hobby for me. I enjoy creating the content. I have a full-time professional career. I've been in IT for almost 30 years now. I'm executive leadership, but you know, I really love entertainment technology, and that's what my channel is about. It's not just about home theater. It covers everything from 2-channel to multi-channel audio, projection, televisions, gaming, mobile, etc. Right, which YouTube absolutely hates that I do, and they punish me on the regular for getting outside of my lane. Right, because YouTube wants you to do one thing so they can figure you out, but I don't do that. I've started doing 3 hours of live content every week too, so I'm a glutton for punishment there. So I do a unbox live on Sunday evenings, and then I'm on the Hi-Fi Mafia Sunday stream for an hour every Sunday, and then I do Tech Talk live on every Tuesday evening as well. So and that's a industry show where I have you know, an industry partner come in, somebody, you know, a brand like SVS or whoever, and talk about what they've got going on and what's going on in the market. On top of that, I do shows. So I'll be at Expona this month, or early in the month, and then I'll be at the Northern International AV Show in Malaysia at the end of the month, and then, you know, I've got others throughout the year that I'll attend as well. Which I do that mostly because I just like to travel and go to shows, so I have a lot of fun with that. But yeah, that's, I mean, you know, like and subscribe. I love it. It's awesome. You know, and just lots of techie type content around entertainment technology. So that's me in a nutshell.
Very good, very good. So, what do you got going on your channel right now? What are you working on? What's some of the last videos that you put out?
Gosh, I'll have to go look and see. I just did a refresh on the Weem amp streamer, so they're Rune ready finally. So I dropped an updated version of that. I've got a whole scat of stuff that I've got to get to. It's really sad, but I keep a list, and there's like a whole page of videos that I need to make that I haven't made yet. But I'll be covering the new Ultra Evolutions. That'll be a popular video as soon as SVS gets the samples out for that. So those will be coming here pretty soon. You know, as we talked about before, SVS is letting all of that stuff run through all of their customer sales before they do any kind of social media stuff, which I think is smart. And let's see, I got some KEF videos that I need to make. So I've got the KEF Cube 15, I've got the KEF LSX 2 LTs that I need to do a video on. I've got the Atlantic Technology 8600 Eyes. So I'm doing a front soundstage video about those. I've got a whole bunch of little, okay, here's the funny one. I have a robotic pool cleaner that I'm going to unbox.
I need to hear about that. That sounds.
I'm assuming you have a pool.
Robotic pool cleaner. So that's will be a fun one. I've got a couple of little projectors, like a Dangbai, and then I forget the name of the company. It's called the Boom projector. I've got some Altic Lansing, an Altic Lansing boom box that I'm going to do as well. And then
boombox, holy cow! Really?
Altic Lansing boombox. You can put it up on your shoulder. It's like a huge Bluetooth speaker. So that'll be fun. And I'm going to create a bunch of content for Expona and for the Malaysia show. And I like it when I can mix the travel in with some of my videos. The Dune Sardaukar video is probably my most masterful video that I've ever created. I posted that same video, and it got like 80,000 views when the first movie came out, and then I reposted it, and it was just an absolute turd. But it is classic content, and if you ever wanted to understand the genesis of the Sardaukar is a full explanation. Very highly recommended video to watch and check out.
So should I watch this prior to watching Dune and Dune 2?
You should watch it immediately before you do anything else in your life.
Wait, hold on. Did you say you haven't seen the original? Have you seen the '80s Dune?
No, I have not.
Oh,
that's rough.
Can you put me back into the green room, Ike, as I have a free?
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, man, who are these people? You're not even allowed to watch the new Dune.
It's an experience.
I'm more of a rom-com. No, I'm just playing.
Hey, I like rom-coms.
I'm trying. I know that's true.
I turn this live stream into a rom-com, so I like me some rom-coms. Come on now.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know about the 80s version, and I heard about the remake that just came out a couple years back, and I'm saving it for when the theater is done. So I want to watch.
Oh Lord,
I definitely would to save.
Not hold my breath.
Yeah, no. So great news about the theater. While we're talking about that, I actually contracted a drywall guy to help me out. So he should be starting in a week or so.
I'm gonna have to warn Miguel. I'm gonna have to warn Miguel. It's like, you might have to actually finish, a month late. You're only allowed a month leeway now.
Hey man, I don't have everybody building a whole house for me, so.
Yeah, well, stop saying that K-Scape word and you'll make more friends.
Yeah, Chuck came on the show last week and offered to come down and help.
Yeah.
So it was either last week or the week before. Yeah.
Yeah, he'd probably throw that stuff up in like a couple hours.
Yeah. So the guy thinks it's going to take him he's going to have a helper. Thinks it's going to take him maybe 5 days of work to finish everything up. So once he can get started, but and then I have to paint baseboard, risers, carpet,
Man, I'm stoked. That means we're only 24 months out from this bad boy.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly.
You're just running 12 gauge, right? You're not doing anything with a battery or something, right?
No, all 12. All 12.
We're gonna get into Audio Quest hate. I've got
that's my next video.
I've got several bad boys in build montage, and I made the mistake at one point. I was like, look, if it makes you feel better, I'll tape a 9-volt to my speaker. I was loved. I was very loved for that comment.
Yeah, no. So we're at hopefully I'm hoping to get everything done.
I agree with Fred's comment, man. Let me borrow that stuff, man. I can use it.
I use the Kaleidescape.
Yeah,
Kaleidescape's being used every day, bro.
Yeah,
it is. My son has all kind of movies on there and everything else. That's being ran right directly to my living room TV. So that is being used a lot.
I think anything you're not using, I'll pay for shipping.
No, I just want to test the K-Scape. I know I'm gonna get one before the year's over. My wife might be listening, but let me not say that loud.
Love to check one.
It's a wonderful.
I know somebody that sells them. If you are interested.
Yeah, everyone that sells them, there's a 90% crook in them.
Yeah.
Oh! What were you saying, Don? What? No,
the people that
you
sell
can
them
get them. You can get K-Scape secondhand though, as an FYI. I mean, it should be obvious.
Yeah.
But you can get some really good deals secondhand.
Well, I have a question on that.
You know why they're hard to find? Because people that have them love them.
There you
they
go.
do not sell them.
So if you do purchase one,
because it costs more to upgrade, bro. That's the only reason. It's not just the love. It's like
can you buy warranty, or can you get on a warranty program if you obtain a used one?
But you can send it back and they'll fix it for you if there's a problem.
Well,
you can always send it back in.
That's something else I cover in my video. I found an older one.
Let's save all those questions for the 25th. I feel like You know,
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
so
I
that,
know, but
just so that
they
we don't
couldn't
have to
replace the hard drive,
backpedal.
basically.
So we don't have to backpedal on whatever we say.
Let's do this.
Well, we're
Let's
just
just
asking questions. We're not the final say. That's for sure. You know what? It's
Right.
better to be wrong than
Mhm.
just that makes it more interesting too. So
Yeah.
I was going to make a bad joke and say, let's just, Giles, I appreciate you coming. We're going to air Adrian's K-Scape video at this point. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So
I was like contemplating. I was like about to post, like, should I do it? Should I not? And I sat and thought about it for like 30 minutes before I actually posted the thing. But
hey,
Now I'm so curious.
You know what? I don't think K-Scape's too worried about anyone's opinion.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I mean, again, like
your opinion has not already been voiced across every video chat that has ever been done.
Yeah.
So
I figured,
it's
just another place for people to get their comments out.
pretty much, So
I mean, it's look, the intent is honest, right? I keep saying it. I want one. I will probably get one, but I'll still ask the questions that everyone is asking because, they're legitimate questions, and maybe at some point, I'll win a lottery and then I won't have to worry about questions like that. It doesn't mean that the questions will go away. It's just that my money will answer it for me.
My money will go away.
I'm with Giles though. I'll if I ever go for it, I'm going to go for a smaller server.
Oh, there you go. There's a comment that says you can transfer warranty. So Benny says,
what about like a different product? I mean, you say, Giles, that you download maybe 2 or 3. Why don't they just make one that with a 256 gig, the SSD in it that only holds 2 or 3, and then it just overwrites automatically?
Why don't they just make a super tiny one?
Yeah, they could fit a little NVMe SSD inside the Strato C. It's not very big. Just have something that so
look,
I want to watch.
They make some money off the movies, but they're not getting rich by them, right? So you probably they probably want to sell videos.
Yeah, I have no idea why they choose to make the sizes they choose. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they could make it any size. Yeah.
My guess would be the minimum price of entry for them to even break even or make money for the licensing and minimum agreements.
Plus R&D
dollars. So it's like, okay, well, we'll throw a little piece of hardware in here, but it has to be at least this. We can't charge them $6,000 for a 1 gig drive. So they're literally just throwing in, as much as they can without eating into their true profit. I would imagine that's probably.
And they also have to deal with the Logitech Harmony problem. Right. So one of the reasons that the Harmony remotes got eliminated is because it became too much of a cost center for the company. Right. So you pay one time for this piece of hardware and then they're expected to maintain and do stuff forever. Right. And they just can't. So part of that is the Kaleidescape thing too. So you buy this hardware one time and then, they make some movie. Yeah. I've got Logitech too. I use it all the time. And, I bought mine used.
They're
so honestly, and I've had the same conversation with Harmony, and I think, and you're 100% right with K-Scape, and they're trying to make up for it by inflated prices. I've said lots and lots of times, I would have paid a subscription to have
and we say inflated prices, but it's not really inflated prices. I mean,
it's the cost to cover things so it functions.
Yeah, it's not even inflated.
But Paul, it what if the cost could go down if all of their users paid for?
But yeah.
So let me just put it to you this way: if I could rent you a Kaleidescape as a dealer, let's say I decided just to purchase 300 units and just rent it, right? $100 a month. All your movies are on there. Everything's on there, right? That's what $3,000 a month that I could potentially have as a business? How many of us would purchase it? That's the question, right?
I would
So
do
what?
it.
Right? What's the price?
You could try it before you buy, at the very least. I mean, that would be kind of cool.
I would pay $100 a month plus $20 a video for a K-Scape and the convenience of the K-Scape, and get away from the and Paul. That
you
want
to know how you can do that?
Point. How's that?
Your Visa Gold card.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. plus the stupid interest that comes with it. No,
I'm like, man, I don't even pay that for all
my.
my streaming combined, man. No, sorry.
No, but
that was my point. Is like you could get away from the exorbitant hardware costs, pay for your R&D, keep your business going long term, charge me $30 a month for the right to have a K-Scape, plus the hardware cost.
Service fee.
That's not as high as what it is now.
Well,
and I'm in.
Well, but here's the thing. You got to remember, this isn't the market for your average consumer. These are people that are, I want the best Atmos. I want 96K. I want 42,000 kilohertz, even though you can't hear it. But these are the people you're selling to. It's a niche market. So doing a subscription, although that sounds great for this niche market, because it's like, that makes it super affordable for anyone. People didn't want to plug in 2 RCA cables with a VHS player. They got confused. They were like, what the hell? This is way too hard.
Little coaxial
what
cable.
happened to my damn, one friggin' cable antenna? That's your average consumer.
Put it on channel 3.
But we're not talking about the average consumer right now. We're talking about a niche
Correct.
market. They're getting the most niche out of the niche market.
The not average consumer is about one person. So you're going to take a $10,000 item and say, hey, you're going to pay $30 a month, and I'm going to make my $10,000.
Bottom line is that the majority of the Kaleidescape users, they have an integrator, right? So their integrator is going to come in and do all the installation and everything else for them. There's a few of us that are DIY, but for the most part, these are sold by dealers that are integrators,
it's kind of like cars. Someone had mentioned cars, right? Like a McLaren. It's like $20,000 for an oil change. The people that buy the McLaren don't care that it's $20,000 to do an oil change. They're not buying it for, I want a cheap oil change. How much do you think a friggin' quart of oil is? It ain't $20,000. I can tell you that. It's to service this high-end custom-built car that you have to pop the body off of the thing to change the oil. Well, guess what? That's just the price for that item that they wanted. They're not, and the same thing with this. This is hey, I turn it on. I have an integrator. I have customer support. I have all this stuff, and it's the well-off person. I wouldn't even say rich. It's the well-off person's streaming for instead of going to Walmart.
Yeah, but
not
I think
streaming, playing.
I think
don't use the word streaming.
But I think in the last year, probably in the last 2 years, right? It's starting to go from that exclusive niche product to almost middle down the road, because you've had spokespersons, not official spokespersons for the company, but YouTubers and other people, right, who have talked about it and presented it almost as a not so niche anymore, but middle of the line, right? It's almost like it's no longer
the household
McLaren.
Name at this point.
You don't have people talking about McLaren on YouTube every day, right? Telling you how it's, if you don't have it, your Honda or your Mercedes, isn't
you're
really
missing out.
The best. You understand?
You don't know how to drive if you don't have a McLaren.
Yes. So I think that's the challenge, right? It's like a Triumph, right? I know I will probably never own a Triumph, right? But you won't hear me say, oh man, the Triumph is too expensive, they should lower the price. No, because I really don't see people say, if you don't have a Triumph, I mean, there's one or two of them out there.
Well, there are other options. with twin.
There's like plenty of other options, but I think
you can get a Marantz processor, you can get an Emotiva. I think that's the problem. There's only one Kaleidescape.
Yeah, why we all agree that Kaleidescape is a niche product. Well, we cannot deny the fact that they are trying to market to people now who are not necessarily in that exclusive niche. We can't deny it because those people are not watching YouTube. And not watching certain channels trying to decide if they want a K-Scape, like you said. So,
all right, we got to get a business loan and start a competitor. I think that we'll just pool our money together.
So besides the niche product, they're no longer just marketing to those people.
Let's go to the bank.
To home theater enthusiasts that watch YouTube every day. So when you start doing that, you will have to start answering some of those questions. Mm-hmm. That's the truth. We can't deny that. It's no longer gated community guys who have installers. There's efforts to market to us now.
But there's a difference between marketing
and there's
to those
a difference between our wallets.
Giving them something the wallets. That's the whole thing is they're marketing to us, but I don't have $20,000 to give to you.
Regardless of the item, and I'm done saying that word. If I'm an integrator and a salesperson and I get 10% of everything I put in your high-end theater, I'm going to put in the most expensive player that arguably is the best and or easiest and most convenient item that I can do. And I'm going to take 10% of $10,000 versus 10% of $100 NVIDIA Shield or whatever.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, those are all good points, but the bottom line is that, most people, they're not interested in ripping discs. They're not interested in backing up. They're going to the Walmart and
they don't
picking
have
up their disc and backing it up.
They're like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
They don't even know what backing up Blu-ray. Like, what do you mean back up? Like you put the back of it upside down, like that.
Yeah, sure. Our niche market knows that, but for those people that are
doing that right now. So
people that are shopping
honestly,
for
it goes back, but it does go back to this is still a niche market. The people that are buying UHDs, the people that are buying Kaleidescape, or it's 10% or less of the population, probably single digit percentages.
Oh, it's a tiny,
it's a fraction of a percent.
Yep.
Yeah. So if K-Scape wants a bigger market in that niche, figure out a way to market it, because like Oprah Winfrey was saying, if they figured out a marketing strategy that more of us would buy into, they're going to make more money. They're going to have to figure out a way to do it at a lower price point, though.
You know what though?
It was like $4,000. I'm telling you, every single person, every like high-end home theater guy would buy it.
Yeah,
100%.
Oh yeah, I would have
$4,000.
They don't have to. They don't have to bring it down. They don't have to make an Apple TV cost.
Yeah,
but they could just.
No, you're right.
$3,000 to $4,000. 8 terabyte. Whatever.
Have a sales
$5,000.
window. Have a sales window.
Even 5, yeah.
Right?
It used to be 6, and now it's 9. That's the problem. It went up by 50%.
Well, I don't know. I think they have marketed it, and you know why I think they have marketed it? Because we're talking about it. We're sitting here for the last hour and a half talking about it. So they've marketed it enough, right? Whether it's good press or bad press.
That's just it. Bad news or bad media.
It's still news. Yep.
Yeah.
It's just money.
I'm trying to help them.
And you know what? It's not even that bad.
No, I mean, we will talk about it because people have questions, and I think a lot of people are very interested in the product. So it's about what will it take to get them to say, okay, let's open the market up to a little more people, right? Because not everyone has a black card, and the people that have the black cards are not really on YouTube watching.
No,
right?
that is true, but I mean,
it's like,
or it takes a friend like Don to say, "Hey, John Anthony, do you know what the Kaleidescape is?" And the next thing we know, we're both purchasing one, right?
I think I want everyone.
I don't need friends like that.
Yeah. I want everyone to get to experience it. It's a really great device, But
I really want to check it out one day.
I just can't tell you to go pay all that amount just to get in. It's going to be a hard sell, but I'm not a sports person.
But here's the thing: you don't have one, so and that's a debate that I had with somebody else. That person didn't have one, and there was a lot of talk about it. But I can tell you, in my eyes, I feel that I bought it used. I bought it. I think we paid like $3,200, $3,000, something like that, John Anthony, for the Strato S.
Perfect.
And I think it's worth every penny that I paid for.
I would absolutely, if I could get one at that price, I'd buy it tomorrow.
But I think they listed online relatively often of people selling it used. I mean, the market is the used market is there. If you really look for it.
You gotta find one. I haven't found one. So
they have a special Kaleidescape website too that people sell
on ABS forum. You can go to ABS forum.
I do have one question. There's only one way that I would buy a K-Scape. Does it have porn?
Oh, man.
No, it does not. But that's a great.
I'll never buy one.
Basic
what am I going to watch on that thing?
That's a great point. We need to bring up.
Stone,
Porn is not good for your health. Stay away from it.
What was wrong with Ike is immediately like, no.
It's not good.
All right. Well, so my one last point on that is just I just wanted to say that streaming was not bad. And the day that Apple they just double the audio quality stream, now it's at like 770 kilobits per second. They take it to 1.5. That's it. It's basically lossless at that point. That's all they got to do. And then the video, they could keep the video quality.
That's the scary part about all this. It will.
That's the thing. It's like that's why I made the video. It's like a warning. They're gonna get better. And where's Kaleidescape gonna go? What are they gonna start giving you like the movie theater 300 gigabyte like file that the movie theater gets?
That's what they just started doing. So
I saw that. I thought that was cool. Yeah. I did see that.
Yeah, they're entering into cinema distribution.
I did see that. I saw that article. I thought that was again another.
But even then,
that was cool. That's cool.
Even then, you're going to have a cinema-sized screen to see the difference in that. The human eye can't even tell 8K. That's why 8K hasn't taken off yet. I mean, you have to be like inches away from that thing, but that's why it hasn't taken off. But it will be once 5 gig is common in every area. I mean, then your bandwidth is exceeding what any stream would do because they sell 8 gigs. I think 5 gig is all I can get in here, and I think you already have 5 gig, right, Don?
Don has 10 gig. Right?
Yeah, 1 gig. That's all I need. 1 gig's good.
Yeah, and that's all I have.
Get 1 gig everywhere first before we worry about getting
that happens.
But though, guys, you got to think about the fact that the challenge isn't what we can receive; it's what they can send.
Yeah.
The backbone is the challenge there, plus the cost that goes behind that.
But if they're upgrading the endpoints to 5, the backbone will follow. I mean, it's
and I think we
usually it's the other way around.
I think we've just answered though what the future is going to be. I have a feeling that streaming is going to catch up, and this last hour of our life is wasted.
As soon as they come out with a new codec,
I don't want that to be the case though.
Look at the ROCX
codec. It will eventually catch up, but there's still people in the mountains and everywhere else that is using literally like satellite internet and everything else. So.
But then we're talking about an even more niche category of people that they're going to have, so you're now talking about people that want UHD, live in the mountains with the satellite. I mean,
I think that's Osama bin Laden.
Honestly, I think
there's Starlink now, and it's doubled its, capability already in the last 3 years. Starlink internet. So I mean, another 5 years, man, you're going to be getting 5 gig from that. So,
but I think there's an existential question to this. Do you want everything you have based on streaming? Because that's also a bigger question too. Because they can decide, okay, we don't want to show this movie anymore, and that's it. You never
That's
get
why
to
I got-
see it ever again.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
there are
that's
TV shows that I want to go rewatch, but
yep, and
I
they
just
take
can't
it off.
find it anywhere anymore because I have to go
Or,
check it.
or like maybe Michael Bay pissed someone off and they say, well, we're just gonna take all of Michael Bay movies off and that's it. You won't get to see Transformers anymore.
yeah,
He gets
I would
canceled.
love.
Nice.
who's going to be
Yep.
playing this?
Michael Bay is getting canceled now.
Yeah.
I would love the option like something that like Amazon Prime does, where you can buy the digital copy of the movie and be able to play that whenever you would like. Because I mean, that's going to fix the problem. It's still a digital.
But they can also,
no,
yeah, it's
because-
digital.
They already done. Voodoo
Yeah.
already done that, or whoever, and then they canceled it, and everyone
Yeah,
lost.
exactly.
all their movies.
Yeah, if
So-
your
So,
film right, if your film
it's
right
also
actor
with,
gets canceled, his movies might get pulled off all platforms. He goes and
Same
tweets
with,
something, says something on Twitter, and then all the big
Mhm.
guns say, "Oh, we don't want this movie
Yep.
out there anymore."
But if you've
film right
purchased
movies are
purchased
off.
it, if
But
you
if you
purchased
have the
it through
disc, then you
Amazon,
have the
they're not
disc.
going to. I get what you guys are saying. It's a legitimate point, but at that point, if you buy it from like an Amazon that's still in business that wants to pull it, they legally don't have a right to do that without refunding the money that you own that.
They actually did with Sony, with the Sony PlayStation. There's a few movies that they got.
Yeah,
pulled.
exactly.
The core thing,
And
or
nobody
Sony core?
got their money back.
No.
Here's the thing.
No.
Here's the thing that people do not understand as consumers. When you buy a disc, when you buy a streaming service, you
Mhm.
are renting the privilege to consume
One.
that
Correct.
media. You do not own the art on it.
Correct.
Yeah, it's part
That
of the
is
DRM
what
rights.
people-
Your
that is
digital
why.
media rights. Yeah, that's
Yep.
it's
Yep.
yeah. Now I remember
That's why-
studying for the Security Plus certification. It's one of those things where there's something called a wrapper, whatever. Once you tear the wrap open,
Yep.
the content and all of you don't own it, even if you
No.
you bought the disc.
They
Somebody can
actually
still
put
tell
a
you not
little
to play.
disclaimer on the bottom too on any.
Oh
streaming
yeah, on
service.
every single disc. You know what? If you and I don't think that still holds true, but it may. In the 80s, you were not allowed, and it was on the packages, to loan a VHS tape.
Yeah.
You are not allowed to loan. You can have people over, but you cannot say, "Oh, hey, Don, you want to watch this?" Illegal. Not allowed to do it.
Interesting.
Mhm. Yep.
Did you know that the VHSs were like $100 back then?
It's
Like
a
when you went to
Betamax,
like the
that's 100, yeah.
Blockbuster,
They were super
Like the-
expensive.
super
Yeah,
expensive.
the original
They were
versions when
like the
came
big
out.
movies would get released for like $20 or $30, but the ones at like Blockbuster,
Right.
those were like over $100.
Oh, they
Just,
they were paying for the licensing of being able to rent it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Mhm. Correct.
And I mean, the VHF looks like something that would probably cost more to do than a disc, right?
Oh, I know. Way more. Got
And
moving parts.
You still have to clean the tape, the playhead for your Panamax DVD
Oh,
player.
Your
Man.
forehead VCR.
Maybe that will be it. Maybe you'll walk into a store and it's like a Blockbuster. Instead of having a VHS player that you can rent and some movies, you can rent a K and choose which digital movies you want. And right there, they'll just like, bloop, and then you'll take it home, play your movies, and bring it back a week later. And if you're late, they charge you like, oh, well, now you got to pay $10,000 for the device. It's late.
Hey, side note, welcome Techno Dad to the stream.
Ah, man,
Thanks for
look
joining,
at this
brother.
I
guy.
don't know. They let anybody in this place, don't they?
They do. They just drop in. It's
Oh, man.
What's going on, Chana? So
Trying to get us in
let's
trouble.
I tried to change this topic about an hour and 43 minutes ago, but no, just no,
We digress.
What
So
was the
Giles-
I apologize. I think I started it talking about Adrian's channel, so I apologize.
you're
I
all
was
good.
I wanted to say the whole time, like, can we just shelf this until next week and then we can just crap all over the K-Scape guy? It's probably better
Oh,
we
no.
got it out of our systems now.
I don't want to
Yeah.
be mean to that.
Nah,
So, Giles, you just went to Thailand. Is that correct?
The last time I was in Thailand was 2020. It was last year.
Okay.
Last summer.
So
Yeah.
I saw a video that you just recently did, I guess, about the biggest IMAX theater in Thailand. So I thought you actually went there.
Yeah, no, I did. So that was that was at Siam Paragon in Bangkok, and that was in 2023 summertime. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we've got family over there, so we go every summer almost, and visit the in-laws.
That's very nice. So you said there was an audio show there?
Say that again.
Did you say there was an audio show there also?
They do have a number of audio shows there. I've never actually been to an audio show in Thailand. I'll be going to my first show in Malaysia this month. So that happens at the end of this month. But it's the neighbor of Thailand. So it's just, throw a rock over and there you are. But no, they have a ton of shows in Bangkok. And, I know some of the folks at some of the integrators there, some of the dealers, and like there's a place in Bangkok called Theater House, and they just sell crazy systems, really good stuff. Yeah, and my family's always super annoyed. We'll go over and, we'll be in town and I'm like, hey, can I go look at this home theater store? And they're like, we're on vacation. And I'm all like, yeah, this is vacation. Let's go.
This is vacation for me.
Yeah, no, it's good times. Yeah, I love to travel. So when I can mix up, kind of the entertainment stuff and the home theater and music and all those things, it's good times for me. And I was super sad because the IMAX at Siam Paragon, and that's the name of a mall, Siam Paragon. It's a huge mall, and this thing's like on the 5th floor, I think. They used to have 70 millimeter projection, right? And they got rid of it just like the year before I did that video last year. So I was super sad because I wanted to go see 70 millimeter. I wanted to see the new Indiana Jones in 70 millimeter, but they only had it in digital projections. So I was all bummed. But it's still a super cool theater.
I have one right here in Fort Lauderdale that does the 70 millimeter, and I tried to go to see Oppenheimer there, and it was sold out every night because there's only a certain number of theaters with the 70 millimeter, and I think there's another movie that just came out recently in 70 millimeter too. I can't remember. Dune. It might have been the Dune. Yeah, Dune 2 also. Yeah,
Dune 2. Yeah, in 70 mil. I haven't seen anything in 70 mil in forever and ever and ever. And I'm in Colorado and we don't have anything like that here, unfortunately. And while I love it, I don't like it enough to be like, okay, I'm flying to Grauman's to watch it, or whatever.
So the thing about the IMAX theater is like, I mean, I enjoy the picture, right? But to me, sometimes the sound is just entirely too loud. It's super
loud. Yeah.
Yeah. It's well past reference. I watched Dunkirk in IMAX and it was just absolutely a not pleasurable experience because it was literally ear piercing, for the most part. So it not that I love the visuals, but and like I said, I did want to go see Oppenheimer, and I didn't choose to see Dune 2 yet because obviously, like we said earlier, I didn't see Dune 1 yet, so I didn't want to watch just Dune 1 on a regular old TV, my 77-inch first world problems,
Hey, whenever you're at M-Wave, you can watch it on my screen, I mean, I know it won't be as big as yours, but it'll do it justice because I know you won't have your theater done before.
I don't know. I'm hoping 2 months, man. 2 months. I'm hoping.
Yeah, I wonder if it's so for Chana. Is it the one at the Irvine Spectrum and then the one at Grauman's or Mann's Chinese Theater in Hollywood? I can't remember where they all are, but man, the IMAX at the Irvine Spectrum, that is back in the day. I haven't been in years, but it was crazy huge. I mean, it's like you walk in, it's like massive. It's a big boy. That's my favorite, at least in my memory of IMAX theaters of all time. Super cool. Super huge.
Yeah. No, I like I said, I've been to several of them, but the last one that I went to, just that was Dunkirk, and I kind of vowed not to go back just because of the experience that I had. But I did want to see Oppenheimer because there was a lot of talk about how good it looked on the 70 millimeter.
Right on. That's cool. Yeah. So TCL's Chinese Theater, and then the Orange County Irvine one. Yeah. I've only been to one. Right on.
Yeah.
So what you got up and coming on the channel, Giles? You got anything, that we by the way, great review on that. What was the Next Level in-wall subwoofer?
Dual 10s. Yeah, that's a pretty sweet set. And, that kind of plays into my philosophy around home theater design, right? Because I really feel that home theater design is going to change quite a bit over the next 10 years, maybe not even that long. But with the advent of rapidly dropping prices on panel style televisions, it's gonna completely and fundamentally change the way that theaters are put together. So you're gonna see a lot of integrators now start pushing stuff like just video walls and that kind of thing. And any of the 120-inch or bigger spaces, you'll see a lot more competition because at a price point that is not really reasonable right now, but is getting more reasonable and will be reasonable soon. It eliminates all these design issues that have driven the reason for projection in dark rooms, right? If in a world where you can have your druthers and like, well, I'd like to be able to see the screen with the lights on, and today for the most part you really can't on a really large screen because you have to use a projector. Right. But in a world where you can do that, room design changes, audio design changes, everything comes to a huge change. So anyway, I don't know how I got off on that diatribe, but I talk about
no more
that
speakers behind the screen.
Hey,
right?
we got a quick question for you, Giles from Ben.
Yeah.
He just ordered 2 GSG BST21s. What amp would you recommend?
It depends how much money you have. If you have a ton of money and you want a really freaking amazing amplifier, get the it's the brand that GSG sells directly. They're made, I think, in Irvine in Southern California, and I can't think of the name, but it's the ones that they have on their website, and you can't go wrong with those. You can, if on the exact opposite side of the coin, if you want to go as the most reasonable high powered big amp, you can buy like one of the Chinese clones. So like the FP 14,000. So yeah, if you wanted to spend like $900 and get something that'll just thump the heck out of those subs, find any of the FP 14,000s or bigger. Depending on what kind of wall power you're going to have. If you're using 120, then the FP 14,000 is all you need. But if you have 30 amp 240 volt, then you can do a FP 20,000 or something like that, and that would absolutely thump the heck out of those subwoofers. But yeah, and there's a huge range.
Do most people drive those with pro audio amps or?
Yeah, 99.999% of there's all pro audio amps. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know how he built his subs. He just ordered.
I know Yamaha.
I don't know that he probably wants to put 2,000 or 3,000 watts into each one of them. I don't know, depending on what he's doing. That's I mean, and then anywhere in between, I would say to really get into it deeper than that, because you could do a lot of off the shelf kind of pro audio stuff that's not big money, but it doesn't really have the guts that you would get out of a clone or one of the actual real ones, but the real ones are like 10x the cost. And you really, if you're building a GSG subwoofer, you're probably not going to spend $13,000 on an amplifier. Probably not, right? I would go with one of the clone amps myself, and that's what I use here at home. And when we start walking around here, I think I've got it in the closet. I'll show it.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, if you want to go ahead and start dialing in with whatever other device that you have.
Yeah, I'm hoping this will work.
Yeah, it should be fine.
Okay, yeah, give me a second. I'm gonna turn the lights on. And
so while you're doing that, I got a question. Well, John Anthony just walked away. I had a question for him, but I was going to talk to him about his his Apple Vision that he has over there, because I'm very interested in that. But since Adrian, you got the Oculus, is that the one you showed there?
Yeah, the Quest 2.
Meta Quest 2.
2.
Now, are you able to see movies on that, like just like the Apple Vision?
Not as well.
Okay.
It's fine, and you still get a bit of a screen door effect, and the lenses are, if you look a little to the right or the left, you sort of lose focus a bit. So there's a sweet spot. I just got this thing. It was on sale for $200. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, I have that one. The problem with the MetaQuest 2, which I think they fixed in the 3, but
they did
the
pancake lenses or something.
Basically, where the distance of your eyes apart is click.
It's 3 clicks, yeah.
Variable. So that's a huge thing when you're talking about a screen that's an inch away. And the 3, they kind of updated that, but it's still not as.
And the lenses helped a lot. They're pancake lenses. So, I mean, I'm not a VR expert by any means. I mean, I had,
I have the same one you have. I have the 2, and for what I do for Beat Saber.
I take it on a trip. I can sort of keep my movie watching going. It's pretty cool.
Watching a movie while you're on the elliptical or something. It's like
I never thought of that. Yeah.
And the sound is like right there, and
it's not bad. I was actually surprised.
Yeah,
it actually sounds pretty good.
Yeah. So
John Anthony, I had a question for you. I wanted you to talk about, while Giles is dialing in and getting ready for his tour, just talk to me about this Apple Vision that you picked up. I know I got several text messages from you raving about the 3D movies and quality. Talk to me a little bit about that. What's going on with those?
Yeah, so absolutely. So earlier when I was bringing up the Kaleidescape, my point that I was trying to get to is I've actually found something that I think is a little bit better quality in terms of picture quality than the Kaleidescape itself. I mean, it's hard to prove something like that. But
bro. That is
I know it's blasphemy, exactly, on someone who actually owned 3 Kaleidescapes.
And a third of
it has 2 theaters.
You're nah, man. Who's paying?
So I was trying to figure this out last night. I was watching Infinity War on the Vision Pro, and I couldn't figure out why the 3D is better than any of the 3D movies that I've seen in my theater room. I have both in my main theater room the JVC NZ8 has the 3D capability, and down in my bedroom, the A-wall short throw projector also has 3D quality too. So I was able to watch 3D movies on both of those projectors, but the experience not the same. And I finally figured out why the Vision Pro, the 3D experience is better. It's actually the brightness. I think that's what I pinpoint to, because whenever you watch 3D movies, guess what? You have to put on a pair of glasses and it dim the picture.
That are polarized
tremendously. Polarized. So with the Vision Pro, you are looking straight into 2 cameras, two monitor, one in each eye, and it tricked your eye into creating the 3D image, and it's extremely bright. And I actually have to turn the brightness not so far up because it will be too blinding. And the other thing too is that it's actually, so each eye you're getting a little bit over 3.5K of picture quality on each eye. So you wouldn't be able to get that on even a 4K projector itself. So the crispness and the brightness made a big difference in terms of watching 3D
Are those
movies.
OLED like lenses? Are those OLED type?
Yeah.
Yep, they are. They are OLED.
Okay.
So even the contrast itself is going to be. So you're talking the contrast is going to be almost infinite that close, because you don't even need it to be that bright, being an inch away from your eyeball. So I mean,
some people complain that it's even too bright.
Yep.
Yes.
You have to turn it down and
realize. Yeah, there's the brightness. the brightness of a lot of movies and stuff. They're like, oh, you need this much brightness and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, no, if you actually experience the nits that everybody's wanting to get, dude, you're going to be going, oh, dude, turn that down. It's not even enjoyable. Dilate.
Kaleidescape is, yep. It's that they don't have any 3D movies.
Well, it's 3D movies is not a thing for me, so
I still love it. I know Don loves it.
I still like it.
So I think we have. I don't
have. Yeah, I love 3D movies.
We have Giles ready now. So
all
right. Yeah. So let's go ahead and go to the amazing theater that
before we
the real
back
Giles
to a type of topic. But and let's see. Do you have audio? That's going to be important.
Do I have audio?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Okay, so here's my keyboard. This is super, super duper important.
Nice.
So one thing I want to point out is my theater is actually a working room. So I never have a complete theater. So I'll start here. And so over here is where I edit, and this is where I sit for most days. And here's my sad chair that only has one arm left on it. It's like 13 years old now. But it's still rocking and rolling. Yeah, that's an Aeron from back in the day.
Yeah, those are great.
And the stuff I work on is littered throughout the room. So in the theater's just right around the corner. But like here's a Stark Sound SW15P, and here's like a Velodyne DD Plus 18 that's dead, that's got a bad amplifier.
Man, how many subs do you have there?
Here's a couple of GSG15s. And then I need to make a video about these Fosse audio amplifiers. Hopefully the video is going faster for you guys than it is for me, because it looks super choppy.
Yes,
so I got to review those guys. I don't know. I'm giving it. I think everybody's powers choppy. To go faster, but
keep going.
Keep going, though.
Yeah.
We can't stop now.
And like I do like a lot of 2-channel stuff over here on this. Like that's the Eversolo DMP A8 that I still got to make a video about. And that's the Galleon Class A amplifier that I'll be creating some content around here pretty soon as well. Another fun little video that I'm going to make is I'm trying to let the camera catch up. This is a first generation Storm audio processor, so I'm going to upgrade that to current spec and do some content around how you can take these higher end pieces of equipment and keep updating them and keep them for 10, 20 years, right? And not have to continue
Storm
to
is
buy
modular,
new
right?
AVRs all the time. It is.
Storm is modular, correct?
To a certain extent, anyway. Yeah. All right. And then this is my little tiny room. And I'll try and walk around this. So as you can see, I'm always testing one thing or another in here. And I forget what I was testing, but I had the mic set up to do some sweeps for it. That's the new Kef Cube 15 in the middle of the floor that I'll be making some content about. But as far as a tour, so we'll start out and I'll try and sweep around here. So the speakers are Stark Sound. So those are the ICH5 Halo towers. And then behind the screen, I've got IWH3 in wall. And I'll show you one of those up close because I've got them up in the ceiling. There's the other tower. For subs, in the front, I've got two of the Perlison D15Ss. And the screen is a Seymour Trim L. I forget the model. It's their masking screen. So it's a constant image height and it masks automatically motorized on the left and right. So I've got it masked to 16:9 right there. And it's like a 4:2 to 116-inch screen, which is about as big as I can do in the room here in the basement. You can see I've got this big soffit thing up there with plumbing in it. So that's about all she wrote for that.
I had a soffit in my old theater. I know
from where I'm standing. So I've got these stairs that run up the side here. So if you edit out in your head the stairs, the room itself beyond kind of the threshold here is about 14.5 by 14.5. So it's an awesome square, which is the worst shape that you could possibly ever have for anything audio related. Because the seating is like in the the worst null for bass that you could ever imagine. But it is what it is. Up in the ceiling for Atmos, I've got 4 of the IWH3s, and they're like dual 6.5 tweets and I think 3.5-inch drivers, and I do 4 of those up there. Coming around, let's see, on the floor, that's the Onkyo RZ70, the new 11-channel AVR. So I just unboxed that, and I'm going to do some content for that one. Got some panels stuck around the room that really make a huge difference. I used to have an old projector up there, and then I pull that down, and now I've got another old projector sitting on a shelf, and I'm always swapping projectors, so I have a shelf back there to make it easy to move things around. I have a mount on the ceiling, but I end up never actually using it because everything changes so fast. On the rear walls, I have the IWH5 on-wall speakers, and they're dual 8, dual 4 or 3.5. I think they're 4s.
Yeah, those are pretty.
And beryllium tweeters. Yeah, I love the speakers. It's really good. And then I have
those
some
are one
more
wall,
mismatched subs back here. I'm sorry?
Those are on-wall subs, correct? On-wall speakers, excuse me.
Oh yeah, they're on walls. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if you can really see, but you can, like back there, you've got the little hooks, and they just hang on the wall.
Oh wow.
The only in walls I have are the Atmos in the ceiling, and then the center channel behind the acoustically transparent screen. This is the Miller Kreisel X15
Do you run all your
Plus. So that's dual. Do I run the full range? No, I don't. I cross them over. They all get crossed over and dumped into the subs. And then this is this is the Dual 15 from that company that sent speakers to like every reviewer in the world, the Arendals. So that's the Arendal Dual 15 top of the line sub from those guys. So I'll run those in the back right now. And then with the 2 15s in the front. So 6 15s in the room for bass right now. You can see my cabinets pulled out of the wall as that no, absolutely. Yeah, I like that a lot. I got the cabinet pulled out of the wall because I'm doing more content and I have to swap things out all the time. But we can run through that. I've got the door off. Usually it goes into that little nook that's behind the cabinet. And it looks pretty nice back there, but I needed to plug and move stuff around. But we'll kind of go from the bottom up with the gear here. So at the bottom, you've got a Trinov Altitude 16 and a Trinov Amplitude 16 amplifier, and that's what's in current rotation right now as far as processing goes and amplification goes. Above that, you've got the Mad VR new version, and that's plugged in but not configured. And there'll be content coming as I get to that one too. Above that, I've got the Premiere SPA 25 that I'm creating content for, so I've got it shoved into the rack right now. And that's a pretty sweet piece of gear. It's kind of on the spendier side for the channel count, but man, it's, it does Dirac and it's just beautiful. It's really elegant. I love the styling of it. Above that, I've got an Acura SAC 4 processor, and I've used this for years now for measuring speakers. So this is my go-to source whenever I pull out REW and plug stuff in. Just for consistency's sake, it all goes through that Acura. So I'm really happy. It makes it really easy to test stuff. Just the UI and the way they have their channel selection and how you can select source and send it over a single channel and that kind of stuff makes it really easy. Above that is my Kaleidescape with a disc player stuck on that, so I can take old DVDs and catalog those and then buy the digital version. Above that, I've got a Panasonic DP-U820, which I haven't used in a very long time.
Since you got
And
the
then I don't know if you
Kaleidescape.
can kind of see in the slit there. There's an Apple TV. Yeah, there's an Apple TV and an NVIDIA Shield, and the puck for a remote control. Old Harmony. I used to have
you're leaving
up in the shelf, and
eight
at the
U's of
top I had
space for venting. Like
for
you have
venting,
a lot of like space for venting.
not a. No, it's just because I really don't take care of my rack really well, and I'm pulling stuff in and out, so I just. Yeah, just there's just holes all over the place because I don't put panels on when I take them off. I had this set up really nice one time, and then I realized that I make too many videos for it to stay nice. Up here at the top, I had a Zadoo and a Zapedi for a long time, and I've pulled all those out, and they're all gone now. So there's just some holes up there as well, where that stuff used to be at. Because now in this room, all of the content comes off two sources. It's either the Kaleidescape or the NVIDIA Shield. So it's all off of those. I've got the Valencia chairs.
That's a serious rack. That is
in a
serious
chocolate
rack.
Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there right now. A lot of stuff in there. If we go in here, I don't know. I've got more goodies inside of the closet. So let's see. There's a front sound stage of Theatris speakers. This is the FP10000Q amp from Synbison. So whenever I need to run passive subs, I pull this guy out. Underneath that is a Acurus M8 and an Acurus Muse. They're 16-channel processor and an 8-channel amplifier. Some more Aperion audio speakers on the shelf. Down here we've got some Stark Sound amplifiers. So there's an A8S, and then I think that's a Fiera 4, and then I think a Fiera 8 down on the very bottom, and then some cabling and some screws and some other stuff. So there's always goodies and bits and pieces and all kinds of stuff hanging around in here as I need to pull stuff apart to do things. Oh, this is the new video board that I bought from Storm to upgrade that Storm processor. I haven't taken it out of the box yet, but that's the new video board that I'll be installing. Gosh, I don't know. That's most of the stuff that I've got sitting around in here right now. What can I answer any questions about anything?
So, what is your go-to? You talked about Acurus being for your measuring. What is your because you got three processors there, right? You got the Trinoff, you got the Acurus, and then what's the other one? The Prime, I think it is.
Yeah, the Primaire. Yeah, the Trinoff right
now. So
which one
do you currently use?
I've the Trinoff.
Okay, so you're using
that's what I
the Trinoff is for sure the one. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
and
I've not used a processor better than that.
I don't want to throw you under the bus here, but what benefits are you seeing? You know, Trinoff versus Acurus versus Premiere.
Okay, so there are a lot of different use cases for Trinoff. For me, the compelling piece is their room correction software, right? So I like it the most of any software that I've ever used in this room, and I've used just about everything. It makes the room sound the best, and this room sucks. It's horrible, right? It's not good, and the Trinoff makes everything sound really good. So that for me, that's the most compelling use case for the Trinoff. It's just the room correction technology is the best that I've used.
So the speaker remapping is what you're using the most out of that processor.
That's all part of it. And I am far from an expert on exactly all the nuts and bolts of stuff that's going on inside of the Trinov. But yeah, the speaker remapping. But it's all auto magical, if that makes sense. You just tell it what speakers you have, you throw it up, it runs test tones, and just like Odyssey almost, it magically does its work, and it's awesome.
I see.
Here, I'll come back and sit down, and maybe we can get some better.
And then you're gonna have
better throughput here. So I'm gonna hang up on this one and go back to my desk.
Sure thing.
Okay, let me switch back.
So is Ike's asleep at the steering wheel here.
Oh boy. Why am I asleep? I'm awake. We have chatter in the green room, so I was trying to get him in. But
bring Chana up, man. Bring Chana in.
Calm down, bro. Slow down. just because you got an M3 Mac now, that don't mean
we need one more person to make it even.
Yeah, I'm about to pull chatter in. Yeah.
So that's a very nice theater that you got there, Giles. What made you choose those speakers? I think
Beryllium tweeters, right? So
there we go. Now we got you.
So as far as the speaker choice goes, I am a huge fan of Beryllium tweeters, right? So you can get those in Focal, you can get those in the Stark Sound, and I like the look of these as well. So it really comes down to just the timbre of the speakers and then the kind of sound that they put out. It's right up my alley. So that's the big push for me for that particular brand and that particular line.
Oh, damn. What is up, people? Hey, Don, that was hilarious. You're like, I don't want to throw you under the bus, but I'm about to throw you under the bus. That was hilarious.
Well, it's not very often that we see somebody's rack with, a Trinoff, a Storm, an Acurus. I actually almost purchased the Acurus processor. I know that was on the top of my list.
Giles, it looked like you were confused. You're like, I don't know which one to buy. I'm just gonna get them all.
They're very much like Pokemon.
Oh yeah, I gotta catch them
They're
all.
very well. And then if you look on the floor, I've got the Onkyo.
Is that what you? Oh no, you're not using
it. You got more. You got so much.
You were testing it.
I think we lost you.
So much stuff you're just putting on the floor, huh? Yeah, don't we need like one more for like Brady Bunch or something? To get a full.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Or is it more?
One more.
10 is the max. 10 is the max.
I think 10 is the max that you can have on.
I know. Hey, Giles, you were looking pretty grainy when I saw
on this.
I was just gonna say, I could bring my black
some
lab
kind of weird
in.
internet thing going on. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little choppy right now.
Yep, not sure what's going on. But...
Should we
you got that Walmart internet over there.
I'm breaking your stream. I'm breaking
Chad showed up and planted a bug.
The whole thing went to shit as soon as I came in.
It's still
I love it. I love it.
Chana's hacking your system right now, Ike. That's what's going on.
That's it. That's exactly it right here.
So,
this is my hacker impersonation.
Chana, I watched your studio mix the other day, man. That looked fun. I mean, above all else, that looked fun. That looked
dude,
amazing.
This guy is so... Dude, I can't believe I stayed at this guy's house. This guy, Ken Lewis, he just won a Grammy because for Album of the Year, Taylor Swift, right? He worked on that album. And I got introduced to him like 2 weeks ago. And then they're like, yeah, let's do this event. It's the first Wednesday of every month. We're talking about Atmos, and we'd love to have somebody that represents the consumer side there. And man, it was great. His system is fucking sweet. He has all atoms. He has a 914 Atmos mixing rig. And you guys have heard of Dutch and Dutch, right?
Oh yeah,
I'm sure. Yeah, so he does a pair of those, like white ones, man. Oh, they're like what, like $15K each. Oh God, I almost like died when I heard those things. Oh, fantastic. But yeah, dude, this guy's a heavy hitter. I think I videotaped his like wall of like plaques and stuff, like platinum and gold like plaques and shit. He's got like over 100. He's like 100. What do you say? 114, 115, or something like that. So. There's pictures of him and Ariana. It's not Grande, apparently, because they were close with the family. Like he was like producing her when she was 15. It's Ariana Grande. That's how you pronounce it. Just so you guys know, a little tidbit, a little bit of information.
Thanks for clearing that up for us.
But yeah,
I know, right?
Yeah. I know that was the thing on your mind. You guys were wondering.
I couldn't sleep at night.
Years.
Yeah.
So it was cool.
Finally,
and then,
I can get a full night's sleep. So that was amazing.
One of the things that they were doing. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead. I didn't really.
Oh no,
it was just a weird mess of shit. They were doing something really cool. So they were broadcasting 7.1.4, right, on this software called Audio Movers. And I tell you guys, I'm talking to the Audio Movers guy who's like this big dude over at Abbey Road Studio. I can't believe the people I'm talking to right now. It's fucking crazy. And I tell you guys, I'm this close to being able to send out a 7.1.4 from here and having you guys receive it on like an Apple TV. So I'm very, very fucking close. Very fucking close. So I'm super excited about that. To do more like live stuff in that way. So it's gonna be yeah.
That's awesome.
Cool shit.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Who was the gentleman's name that was remote?
Very
that dude was cool as shit. That's the dude that I'd be hanging out with for sure. That was
dude, that's my boy Rock. He's the one that set up this whole thing.
Oh, okay, cool. Because he was very different perspectives, and it's like, hey, there's a business side, there's a he was like, yes, like it's not all about the glam and the glamour. You gotta grind if you're it's about the grind, and if you're willing to do it, there's payoffs, but it's a lot of grind.
Dude,
so
dude, he is his regular studio is the mailroom, which has an 11.4.6 PMC setup, which I was there in Santa Monica. I heard that, dude, the amount of they have 8 subwoofers in the hallway because they order too many for that room. It's pretty impressive. And
blasphemy. There's no such thing as too many. What are you talking about? They just haven't figured out where to put it.
Dude, I think that speaker system is close to like $400,000. That's actually in the room, not including the extra ones. And that shit's banging, man. I heard like 4 or 5 of his mixes in there, and damn. Yeah, no, he's cool as shit. He's the one that put all this together. He called me like 2 days after the other event that I met him at, and he's like, hey, man, there's nobody on YouTube doing these things that you're doing, making Atmos mixes and delivering it to your viewers. And the one thing that really impressed him was the fact that I add a video to the MP4 and then give it to you guys. He's like, that's genius. He's like, I never thought of that. I always need to send out those MP4s to his clients. And he's like, but it's always just a blank video. So he's like, I'm going to steal that. I'm like, yeah, go ahead, dude. Go for it. So, awesome. Dude, that guy does the immersive mixes for Rihanna, the James Brown catalog. Dude, all kinds of people. He has over 100 billion streams. His immersive mixes, he's done so many that's how much and the artists obviously are huge, so they get multiple plays. But dude, that's my buddy. We're trying to link up in Vegas at the end of the month to go to this other event.
Geez,
so
man.
Yeah,
that's awesome, man.
Yeah, those immersive mixes are pretty cool.
So,
Adrian, thanks.
Adrian, what are you working on? What are you working on now for your channel or home theater? You working on anything new?
Are you talking to Chana? He just released.
You said Adrian. You said Adrian.
I was talking to Adrian.
Oh, me?
I didn't. Yeah, I'm getting choppy.
Yeah, we couldn't hear you.
Myself.
I couldn't hear him either.
For real? Not sure.
I heard him. What are you, dude?
We heard.
You need to clean out your that wax, bro.
Oh wait.
Well, that's the computer. It's the computer.
Right.
I got the beer.
I think the choppiness is throwing me off.
I got the beer ear on right now.
Beer ear. Oh god.
Yeah.
So what you working on, Adrian? What you got coming up?
Nothing. I was just gonna. I guess right now I'm just reviewing. I'm gonna review my an SVS Micro, like the 3000. Nothing really big. Actually, I don't really have anything really lined up that much of anything, to be honest.
I see. So you were saying you were going to discuss a topic possibly. What topic were you thinking about putting out there?
I mean, the last thing I did was talked about 3D. That was a big video, one of the last big videos that I did, because I was concerned of, they're not 3D's going away, similar to the whole physical media thing we were just talking about. 3D is dying. They're only putting out 8 this year, 8 movies, and I kind of like 3D. It kind of sucks.
Yeah, I know. I went to the movies and I saw Migration with my son, and the 3D there was on that movie was amazing. I don't know if you saw that movie, but
I've seen the movie. I haven't seen the 3D. The choppiness got fixed. This is great.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I don't know what happened.
The one thing that I think is holding back 3D, which is mentioned before, is there's never a big picture look from all these companies, but at the same time, there's probably a parent that ruins it for everyone. But everybody has their own glasses and goggles, and it's and the fact that you have to wear those is, but the fact that you have to get special things for each home, experience versus each TV and all this other stuff, it really, again, it makes it difficult to consume for multiple people, because it's not like you can say, hey, come on over to my house. It's I don't have 5 pairs of the Samsung 3D.
That's something I cover in my video, how to get 3D glasses.
Okay, because I
did a whole 30-minute video about where I think it's going, and honestly, the Apple Vision Pro might be a good thing, because it's actually, you can actually, for the first time since Voodoo used to be able to stream 3D in Voodoo. I don't think you can do that anymore, but
so
with Apple Vision Pro you can actually stream 3D movies, which is something that has what? Sorry.
Voodoo John Anthony and I we talk a lot, and really? He mentioned
Voodoo
that
had 3D. Yeah.
Oh, that's all. I didn't know that. That's all.
Yeah, Voodoo had 3D.
They did.
Yeah, he mentioned the fact that the quality of this 3D on this device, he's got me almost ready to go buy one. The thing that I was thinking about is the spatial audio, right? And he said he's using the Apple AirPod Pros with it, and he said it's really, really good. Really good.
The 2-channel spatial audio thing, like I said, what you use is psychoacoustics. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I have my AirPods, and you move your head, and you can kind of get the spatial thing going on. But I don't. There's, in my opinion, there's really no replacement for a true setup. It's sort of right. But as far as a lot of the 3D Blu-rays that you could buy, they didn't come with an Atmos track because that was sort of pre-Atmos. The more recent ones sort of did. I think Everest did add one.
I think if they added an Atmos mix to Avatar 3D, that would have been insane.
Well, I mean, you can make your own
audio.
Some people do make their own,
but that would have been awesome. If they just redid that, maybe they'll do it again.
Yeah, a lot of times what they'll do is they'll just mux the two together, right? So
you can do that. I don't know if there's. I might throw it off if the stream, if the video is like even a half a second shorter for some reason or something.
Right.
Once you mix it, you might have to play with it, with where it starts and where it ends, kind of thing.
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've done that before, and you have to make sure that it's the same.
But the Dolby surround up mixer is not bad. It's not really. I don't know if. Yeah, native Atmos is better, but it's really not that bad. Even if you. That's my opinion, and I think a good solid 7-channel 7.1 DTS master audio with the Dolby surround up mixer, I think you're solid.
What's that? The Neural X or no? That's the DTS.
Neural X doesn't have wides. That's why I always. I mean, that's what right. I mean, does anybody? Right. I think the Dolby surround uses the wides. And
correct.
The DTS one doesn't.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm not. Maybe maybe the new DTS. What is it? DTS X Pro, not Plus.
Yeah, that one I think uses 32 channels or something crazy like that. Just like the the full blown.
Is it ever going to come out, man? Or is it already out?
I don't have anything that can do it.
I know that Trinoff has it.
What is it? What
the DTSX Pro?
Oh, if anything, any content's going to come out using it? Is that what
I'm not sure what Ike's question was.
I mean, I was wondering, like, is the technology going to get released at any point?
Atmos won the format war, and DTS lost this round. It's just not. It doesn't even make sense at this point, in my opinion. The Atmos won.
It's kind of like
I think I have like 2 or 3 DTSX tracks. It's
kind of like the HD Blu-ray, right? It lost to the.
It lost, yeah. And now we're just waiting for the HDR format to win, which is probably going to be Dolby Vision. So 2 for 2 for Dolby.
Yeah,
I mean they have the resources and they already have the market, covered. It's going to be hard to displace them.
Especially HDR10 Plus is ubiquitous. I mean, doesn't Dolby Vision fall back to HDR10 Plus? It does automatically.
Yeah, it has an HDR
into it. Yeah,
like base layer, right, or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, the base layer is still it, but it's all about marketing, right? You're not going to be able to beat them out, especially in Hollywood.
A lot of people have done A/B tests that show that Dolby Vision. Some people even like HDR10 more than the Dolby Vision.
HDR10, totally paraphrasing here, but HDR10 is supposed to ideally compensate more by default for the lack of capability for your display. So it depends on if you have like the best display in the world, you probably like Dolby Vision better. But for anything else, I think, especially for broadcasting, I think HDR10 is way better.
But isn't there one? Which one was designed for like the broadcasting? It's not HD. What's the third one?
Oh God.
HLG.
HLG.
Yeah.
HLG is
hybrid log gamma.
And that's what I think HDR. I think that's kind of more based on than like the Dolby Vision is. Just trying to be, more dynamic, if you would.
Hey.
But
matter, man. Just as long as you give me what is good, I don't care. It's
so I have a controversial question for Giles.
Boy.
Dude, it's all about that controversy.
I'm that guy, right?
Let's bring it on.
There's all these streaming devices, and I'm not even going to say the name again, that are better quality, right? And wouldn't the Mad VR negate all that discussion?
So are you asking if a end stage video processor would eliminate the quality of a stream? So the Mad VR can't create content, right? So
correct.
You get whatever comes in.
It should be able to, right? Isn't it?
It's adding frames, right?
Interpolating and adding the newer versions. Isn't that what it's all based off of? It's like the newer codecs. You can take a 240. Now you can't do this streaming, but you can take a 240 resolution video and make it look 4K. Now that takes like 45 minutes.
I don't.
But
it can make stuff up, right? So that's what interpolation is, right? So it looks at a frame, looks at another frame, and then says, "Okay,
in between frame."
Yeah. And then when you up-res something, you're like, okay, here's our frame, and if we add this many pixels, let's kind of figure it out and use some technology to make it look good. And that's all good and fine, but from my point of view, I would much prefer to have the full quality source, right? So a Mad VR can't make a projector do something that it can't do already, and it can't create new content, meaning novel stuff. It can interpolate things, and it can
up-res. But isn't that what like the nonlinear stretch is technically doing, right? It's literally making up a new version of the video, right? It's making it
is.
It's full screen. This isn't the original format.
I mean, to a point, and eventually it'll start to distort, right?
Yeah, correct. Yep. Yeah, and then now there's AI, right? All they got to do is put an AI sticker on that thing, and they'll probably tell.
I do a lot of upscaling.
They've already done that. They have motion AI, so that exists already.
Okay, there you go.
They should put 4K AI.
So I don't even need any high-end quality. I'm just saying, hey, I can upscale or interpolate better
dynamic does that
by using a processing device, because the programs
I don't know that I would agree that any up converted or interpolated is going to be better than an actual source, right? It can do those things, and some of the big use cases for Mad VR is to it modifies the image in a way that you want to use inside of your theater, right? So if you're going to watch 16:9 content on a 241 screen and you want it to fill up the 241 screen all the time, then you'll use the nonlinear stretch, right? So you can stretch it out. So that's like somebody says, I want to do this thing to my picture.
But that's minimal. That's minimal processing, really. That's just you're cutting off some of the image.
You're
taking a parabolic.
You shave a little bit off the top.
You're taking a parabolic. And you're using like a parabolic type of virtual lens to say, oh, okay, it doesn't look weird, and we're stretching it.
It's more stretched on the end than it is in the middle.
Like a tilt, tilt zoom lens. You're making it. You're straightening the line. You're fisheye, but then you're straightening it out to give it that better. But all digitally, you give it.
And so it also does things, much like the Lumigen or your Panasonic disc player for tone mapping, right? So it can look and understand what the maximum output brightness is, so it can help with HDR and that kind of stuff. It helps eliminate, white crush and all that kind of stuff that you see in images that aren't processed according to what the display can do. So, but what's the controversial question here?
Well, that's
Let's get into
it.
controversy.
That's it.
Why spend all the money on it?
It's like you
why
spend
spend money on
all
the player
money
versus just a video
yeah,
processor?
like I could just stream for what I already have and get a Mad VR and have it do tone mapping and some sort of interpolation, and because there's a lot of options in the Mad VR.
You say I can just get a Mad VR. I'll let you know that just the Mad VR is more expensive than the getting to the Kaleidescape.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's still a different, right? The Mad VR can play
but
into
the
different
difference
components
is here's
in
the
your
difference.
home theater, right?
Here's the difference.
It's not restricted to just movies.
A Mad VR upscaler or interpolator or whatever you want to call it,
Video processor,
or a video processor is forever. Yeah. I can send any video through this and it will always and forever process. A K-Scape is today we have all these titles. Tomorrow, it's K-Scape streaming. Please subscribe.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I disagree with that too.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I know that's why I said controversial. It's like, it's like, hey, this is the best, but yet can I take a average 4K UHD and then use the Mad VR? Will it be just as good as a K-Scape?
Oh, I can tell you that the Zapiti
of course.
had excellent
for sure.
Had excellent upscaling in it. When I would
really
watch when I watched a 4K, when I watched a Blu-ray, like an animation or something like, it was amazing. It looked just like
got
a 4K.
amazing upscaling.
And maybe the K-Scape has already a bunch of non-disclosed processing in it that you can obviously overprocess something, and you generally you can tell. Have you ever seen that using a K-Scape and a Mad VR combined? Well, I don't know how far you've got. I know the Mad VR itself can definitely overprocess. I have witnessed that myself. I got
a television can overprocess. That's the soap opera stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's that's frame interpolation. It's the same technology.
I'm just talking about even like detail, like it'll over sharpen stuff. It's like, man, you're seeing details that become distracting. You're just like, oh, whoa, like I would have never even noticed that. I don't know that I'm supposed
to. And some of the progressive 3D movies actually get like that too. Not the the progressive lenses, not the other lenses that they have. I forgot with the two different types of 3D that they had, 3D glasses. But yeah, like when I watched Live, Die, Repeat, the Tom Cruise movie that everybody goes to for base, Edge of Tomorrow, that it looked totally over processed, on some of the 3D stuff. So.
Yeah, I would never try and replace a good quality source with processing. You use processing to fit that quality source to whatever your equipment is.
Well, and that's a good statement, but I am saying, hey, some people or companies are saying, hey, I'm 100% better, but in reality, they may be 10% better. And a processor could get you 20% better.
Well, the other thing that you're not thinking of is...
I'm saying, like, we have decent quality. Would you call a 4K disc, poor quality?
Garbage.
Yeah. Do you need, what if I have an 8K disc? Yeah.
So the other thing that we need to talk about here is you're only talking about one component. You got to talk about the audio also, right?
Well,
I think he's just referring to the fact that, like, look, man, they say it's the best shit. We can't find out until we fucking sell a kidney or some shit and put down $15K for a computer that upscales and tone maps and
and here's the other thing. At K-Scape and Mad VR, they have an out no matter what, because they can always say, oh, well, you don't have a barcode, you don't have a Christie, you don't, so you have a weak link in your chain.
Yeah.
So
clearly, the weak link here is Paul.
Yes, that is absolutely true.
Just get equipment that's sort of
I
in the
am
same
the
price
weakest
range.
link, that is for sure.
No, but
so all of these things that we're talking about are enthusiast devices, right? So they are taking a good system and kind of taking it to the extremes. I think of the consumer that buys the Kaleidescape, or the consumer that buys the Trinov, or the consumer that buys any of these things, the same kind of consumer that would buy like a F-150 truck, right? I mean, that's obviously different markets, but the guy who says, I want this badass F-150 and I'm going to spend $90,000 on it. If you take the analog, the Raptor, if you take the analog and flip it over to a home theater person, you're like, okay, I want this badass whatever. Those are the folks that really.
You want the Ford Ranger? I want the Ford Ranger.
Yeah, and you can
do a truck. Yeah, no, I hear you.
Yeah, I don't have any issues with the
product.
No, I agree. I totally agree.
They're enthusiast products.
The only issues that I have with the Mad VR is that the Lumigen hasn't been put side by side and tested next to it, at least not publicly that I've seen, to see exactly what is what. Now, I own the Lumigen Radiance Pro, so I do want to get one in. And
Don's questioning whether he needs to upgrade is what he's really
exactly.
I think that'd be great. If I had a Lumigen, I would put them side by side, but I don't have a Lumigen. Yeah, I've never had one.
You know what, Don? You can send him your Lumigen. You won't even know it's gone because it could take him 6 months.
I don't know. He's got a lot of equipment in there to review. Mine will take the back seat to that.
So the architecture is different too, right? So the Lumigen uses FPGA chips, I think, right?
Yeah,
and the Mad VR is x86 architecture, like
it's like all software, right?
Yeah,
the Lumigen uses DOS.
Yeah, it's old school, man. They need to work on that interface, man.
Yeah.
You know what? Sometimes old school, you ain't having memory leaks that often on DOS.
True.
That is true.
You throw on x86. I don't know, man. You got to reboot that thing once a month.
Yeah, and I agree with Jed. The Lumigen is less expensive. Yes, that interface, that UI is just. But I think the UI is designed for integrators, right? Like, if the guy's remoting in to help you set it up, you don't need any fancy graphics, right? And
so if you don't know where to go, you don't know where to go.
You don't know where to go. It's basically DOS.
Yeah, man. I gotta go.
Yeah. Hey, Adrian, see you next week, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
man. Thanks a lot.
Good chat. Awesome. See you, man.
Yeah. So it's like DOS. If you don't go to the command line, you're gonna be lost. So it doesn't really matter much if somebody's going to remote in and help you set it up, especially if you're in that niche group that doesn't have the skill set to go try to set it up right. Why would the interface really, really matter to you?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, there's a large segment of customers. They're like they'll go to a dealer and they'll sit down in the demo theater, and the dealer will say, this is an awesome experience, and the person will say, yeah, I want this, and tell me how much it is and come and install it. Right. So that's one kind of customer. Then you have people like us, and we're like, we want to know what's going on. We want to know how to deal with it, how to set it up, how to optimize it. And we want to do it ourselves. So that's another whole different kind of customer. So there are lots of folks that come into the market looking at this kind of gear.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look, I got turned on to the Lumigen by listening to a podcast. It was Taurus's podcast, The Fun Waste of Time, and he had.
He's a great guy.
He had Chris Deering on there, and they got talking about the Lumigen and how it was literally like the best piece of equipment in his rack, and he'll still say that to this day. That it's the best piece of equipment in his rack, but.
I gotta go. Thank you guys for having me, Giles. You got way too much shit, bro. You gotta sell some of that stuff off and take your wife out to a nice dinner.
Never, man. But I'll see you at one of these shows coming up pretty soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I know. I see this guy at CES all the time. All right, guys. Have a good night.
Peace out.
See you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
right.
it's
what's going on, bro?
Oh, did Giles leave?
Oops, not sure what happened.
Or did you kick everybody out, Ike?
No, I did not. I think China really broke the shit.
There he is. We thought Giles left for a minute. Now he's got no audio though.
Yeah. He showed Giles, I think you muted yourself.
He's saying you muted him.
No.
Oh.
Yeah. I can't unmute you.
It's a battle.
Okay. Let's see now. Nah. It says you
It is a battle.
you shouldn't be muted.
Okay,
Anyway.
now I'm unmuted. Somebody unmuted me.
There we go.
Yep, I'm back. No, it had like the big mute symbol across my image, and of course, I could still push and push the mute button, but I was still back in mute land.
Yeah, you're good.
Did you like my sign language? I was pretty good with that.
Yeah.
That was perfect, actually.
Yeah, I was good. That was all awesome.
It was like you are the one.
you, me, no, you.
Yeah, so that's one comparison that I would like to see, and I actually thought about taking my Lumigen out to M-Wave when we're going. Are you going to go to M-Wave, Giles?
No, I won't be at M-Wave. That's conflicting with vacation stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I thought about taking my Lumigen out there and see if maybe I can get a comparison from somebody that has a Mad VR. If we can set that up somehow. I was going to do it last year, but just I didn't have time to get out there early enough to do it. So I think that would be a very interesting video. Obviously, the two brands probably don't want to be put up against each other, but hey, that's probably the question that you get 99% of the time. This speaker or that speaker, right? This processor or that processor.
It's so hard too. So some things are very demonstrable, right? So you can say this is different in this way from this other thing. But I get asked daily, like, which speaker do you like better, this one or this one? And I'm like, well, I can tell you what I like, but what I like in no way is going to be representative of what you might like, right? Because it's completely subjective. But then they're like, tell me anyway. I'm like, okay, well, I like this one more. And they're like, thank you so much, and I'm happy to do that.
The hard part about that is, like, certain things people can compare, like, oh, my buddy bought this, or I can compare this. I can compare, Android versus, Apple, because they're about the same, cost regardless, right? But something like that is, you're not going to just, oh, well, let me buy both of them, and then I'll just, give the other one away, or give it to my friend, or sell it to my friend, or it's really tough. It's, it's kind of like people buying high-end cars, it's pure looks for 99% of them, but they don't care, right? It's, this is what I like. I don't put whatever sticker or, horsepower or whatever on there. They don't even care. The people that are, which is opposite in here, in this kind of hobby, because everybody's like, oh, this is the best one. No, this is the best one. And once you get to a certain price point, you can say whatever you want, because the reality is they're using the lack of, expungible funds that most people don't have. So it's like, well, you don't know, because you haven't spent 20 grand on my speaker. I have the best speaker in the world. Oh, you want to run it on a Clipple? Okay, it only costs you 20 grand. Nobody's going to buy it. They're just going to say, okay, well, you do what you do. And that's a tough position for consumers, So it's like you had mentioned before, Don, it's kind of, or maybe it was Ike, word of mouth. Ike, I think you were talking about it. It's like, at some point word of mouth will get out, but at the same time, it's less quick, because if I spend, 30 grand on a motorcycle that I thought was the best, and then I'm like, oh my God, this is like a the Sparkomatic RCA friggin' of bikes. Like, oh, I don't want to tell anybody I just wasted 30 grand because I got upsold on something. It's embarrassing. So, and it's like, whatever. I'm just going to set it to the side. So it's a tough marketing thing. It really is, but
YouTube is probably the largest source of dissatisfaction for consumers in the world.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
because that just social media in general, because there's so many people out there telling you that what you did is wrong, and it's not wrong. I mean, it's
I
just
thought
different.
Reddit would be right there with it too.
Yeah, I clump that in. Yeah, any place that gives folks a chance to mouth off, and I try not to be that guy in my content. You know what I mean? I don't want to do that, but man, you see it a lot. You see it. You see it a lot.
It's crazy, man. Like I'm a big believer in whatever you can do to enjoy your home theater experience, do it. But the moment I feel like I'm being told, man, just because you don't have this or you haven't experienced this in this particular format means that you've never experienced it. That's the moment I just kind of like, you know what, forget it. If we all watch the same movie and somehow, you're able to get that extra 10-20% performance, that's great. But what if my vision is better than yours? Does it negate the 20% boost that you got?
Yep.
So it's
well, here's something to keep in mind.
I got cataract in 3 eyes.
Yeah. So in that room, I've got
pull your pants up. You won't have to worry about that third cataract.
Oh Lord. So I've got a lot of gear in that room, and I have like a nice 2-channel system, but I consume the vast majority of my content in 2 places. One is sitting at the breakfast nook table watching Samsung 55-inch frame TV that's got a little soundbar.
Yeah.
And that's where most of my video content is consumed. And then I sit at this computer, and I've got an 6.5-inch subwoofer with 2 satellite speakers that have like a 3-inch and a tweeter running off a Wii amp, right? And so that's where I listen to most of my
bragging there for a second. I was like, 8-inch. Stop bragging.
6.5-inch. But that's where I consume most of my content, right? And I can go into this room, and I don't want to count up the number of dollars that are sitting, in there. And then just over here, like the amplifier on this thing is multi-thousands, but I'm listening to a $299 amplifier most of the time. So
exactly,
that all that stuff is nice, but you can have an amazing experience for very little money. Right? I've got a TCL 65-inch TV up there that costs $500, and I'm going to do a piece of content about that. And that sucker is awesome.
Yeah, right. I think most people don't realize how great their own setup is because they're constantly being told that somebody else's setup is the best. And I keep saying, you never know. You might spend a day in your favorite YouTuber's home theater and love it. But after 3 weeks, you might not like that setup. After 6 weeks, you might get tired of it. So just enjoy what you got because, you'll be surprised how good yours is compared to every other home theater.
I talk to a lot of people, through Facebook Messenger and stuff like that have home theaters, and they say that, like for me, even when I get mine done, I don't know how much time I'm going to have to use it, right? Because I got a 4-year-old running around the house and everything else. I hope I get to watch at least 1 or 2 movies a week with it, But the reality is, a lot of people don't use their theater a whole lot. That's why when Adrian said he was in his every day, I was like, "Great, man! I'm glad to hear that you're using, that every single day."
He's a 1%er for sure.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. I barely use mine. Like
so check this out. So I've got a 15-year-old and a 12-year-old, 2 boys, right? And there are a handful of things in this house that they have no use for. And at the top of the list is the theater. They have 0 use for a home theater. My 2-channel setup, 0 use for that 2-channel setup. They are not interested at all.
Yep, they're using their phone and VR. That's what they're interested in.
Yeah, and we got a MetaQuest 2 and a MetaQuest 3, and I had a MetaQuest Pro and all this crap, right? And this is the only thing that they really enjoy.
Mhm.
They and like my son, he'll sit down and of course I get him all this crap, right? So he's got a laptop and then a big desktop with a big monitor, and he's got an iPad and he's got a phone. He will sit and watch YouTube on this phone rather than come and watch a high quality movie down here, right?
Well, I can tell you, for me to watch videos that's all I watch is YouTube, right? So for me to watch YouTube videos, I consume 99.9999% on my phone.
Yeah.
Right. But my son at 4 years old, he watches Mickey Mouse, Coco Melon, all that stuff, all through YouTube and on my TV, through my Apple TV.
Cool. That's cool.
But for me, I don't. Every now and then, I'll be like, try to show my wife, hey, look at this theater, and I'll pop it up on the TV so she can see it, and but that's about it. I mean, I probably watch 10, 12 videos a day on YouTube at a minimum, and they're all on my phone. Every single one of them. I don't come to the monitor. I don't come to the pretty new MacBook that I got. I don't come to the 43-inch TV, 4K TV I got behind this camera here. It's all on my phone, sitting on my couch.
And this is why I say that home theater design is fundamentally changing, right? So it's not only the technology that's evolved, but just the way people want to use their rooms. I think folks are going to find a lot more value in having like a big living room that doesn't have theater seating, but it's got comfortable seating. They put 130-inch panel TV up there that they can watch with the lights on, and they can cast from their phone to it really easy. That is what I think the future is, right? I think projection is going to be in trouble. I think these big format TVs are going to take. We could buy a 100-inch TV that's really good for $2,000.
$2,000. Yep.
Yeah.
$2,000 for a rocking 100-inch TV. I have seriously thought about going into this theater right here and ripping that screen off the wall and slapping up a 100-inch TV, or the new TCL. Well, the new TCL 115 inches.
I would say
I think it's like $9,000, $8,000,
$9,000 for the 98.
And I'm on the other side of that fence, but I totally agree with anything under like 115 inch. If you're a home theater enthusiast, and you're like, oh, I want the best, and all you can fit is 100-inch or 110-inch projection screen, dude, totally just TV. Yeah, like no brainer. As long as the only thing that it will hold it back is literally logistics, because let's face it, getting a 100-inch screen in a basement that, hey, I've got $1 million home in Mission Hills that's, real wood back in the 1800s. That's, like, 2 feet of this wood cost more than my house. They have they have 2.5 foot wide doors going down to the basement. It's not, and it costs $10 million to remodel. You're not fitting a 100-inch screen down there.
Yeah, I just had a 65-inch Samsung delivered into the kids' playroom, and I was like, man, the way the guy tried to navigate it into that door, I was like, man, I'm glad this is not a 100-inch TV.
Well, yeah, and that's what I think will be the thing that holds it back, right? But yeah, sure, if you live in a house that's got a 3.5 foot wide entry door, and you got 14-foot ceilings, well, yeah, no brainer. Big 100-inch, 150-inch screen all day, every day, like no brainer. But once you get above the 115-inch, it's like, man, it's who you're gonna have to have 4 people at
after that, it goes to panels, right? So
yeah,
I think 115 is going to be the biggest.
If they go to panels, panels, I would be down for that, because then you could grow it. What I like the idea of panels is, okay, I have 9 oh, and then I just add, the surrounding to go one step bigger. Oh, more, one step bigger. I can even grow my size over time.
Those panels will need to come with their own coolings. Like you will need to add some extra cooling because I think at CDR they had one
They
of
get
those
hot.
panels. They had a lot, dude. I stood like probably like a foot away from one of them. I was like, holy crap! You do not want this thing in a room that is less than 20 by 20 or something because you're gonna be watching your movie and sweating sitting out there. It's like,
You
One
buy
thing
a
I
panel
really
and you
like
got to
here-
buy a mini split with it.
Yeah.
too many
Well,
splits, bro.
these televisions, what I really like is they also changed the design paradigm because projectors make a lot of noise,
Yeah.
right? And if you're going to build a theater, okay, the right way, I don't know, the expensive way, you have a projection booth, right? You have a room back and you have a hole, you put a piece of glass in, you project through it, right? And you capture all that noise back there. TVs are silent.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like it. I hate projector noise. I can't stand it.
I have always run mine on eco mode because
Yeah.
it's
Try to cut it
literally
down.
above me, and it's just like
Yep.
the minute you turn it up one notch, it's like you're like, what the fuck? Especially when you're watching A Quiet Place, that'll
Yeah.
drive you. You're like, God, like what the hell?
Quiet
Really?
Yeah, that's one thing I
100%.
didn't like about the Zapiti was, when I had it sitting on underneath of my TV when I had the theater in my living room, I would hear that damn Zapiti, the hard drives.
Yeah.
Good old
SSDs now, baby.
7200
SSD.
RPM hard drive. Get the old school 5200. You don't even hear those.
The good old
Yeah.
days. 5200.
But yeah, but ultimately, I try to tell people just enjoy what you got, man, and don't let anybody sell you an illusion of what a perfect
I
home
agree with
theater
that.
is because most people don't even have a dedicated space.
Yep.
And
Except for
even
Kaleidescape.
when they do,
Kaleidescape. That's the best.
even when they do have a dedicated theater space, if they're reviewers, it's not always in fine form. They're always moving stuff around, right? So that Dolby spec they're selling you is not always that way in their home theater. So just enjoy what you got, man, and get good speakers. Don't get bad speakers though, and don't pay too much for bad speakers. But
Well, what's a bad speaker?
I mean, something that cannot be EQ'd properly. That's my definition of a good speaker. If you can do some proper EQ on it, it's a good speaker, and and it might not be the most expensive.
I don't even know if I would. I don't even. My thing is, if it's distracting, that's a bad speaker. If something happens, no matter how horrible it is, right? Like if you go to it, like you've got all, the highest end Sonus Faber, you got friggin' $100,000 Sonus Fabers hanging from the ceiling for Atmos versus, some JAMO, all, affordable system. As long as it's not distracting, like if I have a speaker that's like, let's say it's blown, right? Let's just compare it to that. Like that would be distracting, no matter what brand it is. If it's blown and you all of a sudden hear every time it does something, that to me is a bad experience. That's a bad sound. Now you can have, oh, I can hear the dialogue better. Oh, I can hear the explosions better. Oh, I hear the violins a little more clear. Oh, I hear the 18K friggin', whatever the friggin' fuck makes that frequency, which I don't know. There's a few instruments in the world, but that to me is a bad experience. Otherwise, I love the fact that we have the high end stuff. I love the fact that some of it's really user friendly. I more gravitate toward the affordability of entry for the masses because most people literally listen on their TV speakers. And it's like, man, for like $2 or $3 grand, you can get home theater in a box and a sub. Sure, the sub only goes down to 30 hertz, but it has a 10 dB. You can turn that up 10 dB to where when you're listening to it at 60 dB, you still get a thump that you wouldn't have gotten from your your TV speakers. So your experience, and you're experiencing multi-channel, and you're just like, oh my God, this is amazing. And I'm all about, the artistic, not just the artistic side, but I love the movies. And like when I'm watching a movie, if it's good, I don't even hear the atmos or the surrounds or the anything. I am enjoying the movie and the content, or the music, and that to me what it has been and always will be about. But a good 80% of YouTube is all about marketing the products, which I totally understand, because it can and will give you a better experience, but it's not all about the gear. It's not all about.
And I'm with you too. I don't want to be taken out of the movie. I want to be I want to be immersed in the movie. I don't want to be fondling with the remote. Is that center channel too high? Is it too low? Is it what? The whole purpose of the movie is to enjoy it, right? So since we're going to end on this, we're going to go around the room, and what was the last movie that you guys saw? Paul?
It's funny because it was brought up. I literally this weekend rewatched because the woman has not seen the 84 version of Dune.
Oh, okay.
I was like, what? You haven't watched? I was like, God damn it. Like, all right, we're watching that. And yeah, it was a long movie. It's a I did the extended version.
Like 3 hours, right?
And it's 2 hours and 56 minutes. But of course, that's
you have that on Plex, right? You have that on Plex, right?
Yeah. What do you... Don't even never ask. What are you talking?
I was wondering if you watched it on K-Scape. Never mind.
It's not on K-Scape for sure.
Yeah, I watched it on my Kaleidescape. But yeah, it's that's the latest movie I watched. I don't know that I had, because I watched several movies and I always forget, because some of them I'm like, oh yeah, I really enjoy certain movies. I just enjoy, and I'll definitely remember because they have more emotional, view on them. But I Dune was the last official movie I watched, and I did consume a couple streaming. I watched a couple episodes of Invincibles, which is a anime comic
animated
book.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I also started watching the live action Avatar The Last Airbender, which a lot of people said they hated, but I was like, it's about 80% true to the actual Nickelodeon version so far. I'm like, yeah, I get it. I get some of the distractions and some of it, but I'm enjoying it. It's not so outlandishly, off that, I hate it. But I get where I could understand where some diehards could be like, this isn't true to the original, but it's like, it's pretty damn good so far. I'm enjoying it. So those are the three major things that I've consumed this weekend. And yes, I actually use I'm one of the 1%ers. I usually
how about you, Giles?
But my theater is in my living room, so it's like that is where my theater is. So
I think that's a really good spot to have a theater, right?
I think so too.
I really do. So last movie I saw was Ghostbusters Frozen Empire,
the newest one.
Yeah, so we saw that in Dolby. Actually, no, we didn't. We saw that in a cheap, crappy theater here in town. Usually we drive 30 minutes to the Dolby Atmos venue at AMC up in Highlands Ranch, but we didn't want to drive that far, and we're not super huge Ghostbusters fans, but we wanted to check it out, and that movie was horrible. So bad. All the Ghostbusters people were like, no, don't say it. Yeah, it was not good.
It was not good, huh?
It was, I didn't care for it. It was like it was like an hour and 30 minutes of build up and then like 5 minutes of conclusion, and then it was over.
Sounds like our show today. An hour,
Yeah,
45 minutes of
That's right.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And let's see. Honestly, I watch a lot more television than I watch movies. I'm a big TV guy. I love TV, and I plowed through and watched Three Body Problem season 1, and that was outstanding. And then I was all like, okay, I want to know what happens. So now I've started watching Three Body, which is the original Chinese adaptation of the Chinese books, and that is streaming on Peacock of all places, and they have the full everything done. So Three Body Problem, I think, is going to be 4 seasons, and they've done 1 season, so it's like years before it'll be done, and I can't wait. So I'm going to watch the Chinese language version, and I just started that one today, and it's like not even the same show as the Netflix version. So I'm all like, okay, I'm watching a whole different thing now. But I gotta see how it ends. But yeah, that's the stuff I've watched now. But I watch a lot of TV. So if you guys ever want to talk TV and streaming, I'm down for that. Delicious in Dungeon. If you guys like anime, watch Delicious in Dungeon. It's hilarious. It's really good.
Yeah, it's like me. I'm more of a TV show person. I haven't watched a movie in about 3 weeks. So, but TV shows, I haven't watched a lot of Death in Paradise, Murdoch Mysteries. I like all those types of TV shows. That's what I've been watching, and new seasons come on. The only time I get to watch a movie, it's usually at the end of the day, and then I sleep halfway through it because I'm already tired, right? I go to the theater at 8 o'clock. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch a movie, and then 45 minutes, I'm gone. The TV show I can watch.
Your seats are obviously too comfortable.
But what am I supposed to do? Stand and watch a movie?
That's my problem, man. If I'm watching a movie that I'm legitly interested, like the Dune, we were probably 90% through on that, and I fell asleep because I've watched that a couple times in the last couple years. So, like, I watched it 90% through, and at the last minute, Jessica was like, "God, how long is this?" And I was like, "Oh, what?" I was like, "Oh, it's just got a few more minutes left."
I've tried to watch Tenet at least 4 times, and I can't tell you what happened at the end.
Nobody else can either.
Nobody can tell you.
Yeah, nobody can tell you truly. I'll tell you yesterday what happened tomorrow.
It's like, but I think TV shows, 45, 50 minutes straight up. I'm like, okay, I'm going to bed. But
I love the 30-minute comedy. Yeah. It's like 22 minutes in reality. I love that format, man. I love it.
Yeah. But I'm mostly a BritBox. I do BritBox. I do Acorn TV. That's where I watch a lot of my TV shows. So.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I'm a big sitcom person too. I like watching the old episodes of well, they're not too old, but Big Bang Theory, Friends, Rules of Engagement. Those shows are hilarious, man.
I'm old. I'm like Gilligan's Island, Fantasy Island.
Okay, I did something really crazy. I did a complete watch of all of Stargate. So the original movie, all 10 seasons of Stargate SG-1, the 3 seasons of Stargate Atlantis, the 2 seasons of Stargate Universe, and then the 3 after movies. And it took me months.
This is why all that equipment's sitting on your floor still.
Yeah. And I watched it all.
If you're not actually enjoying content on all that equipment,
exactly.
What's the point of freaking reviewing the equipment? It doesn't. That's what makes it fun.
Reviewing it is the point. Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
Yeah. Reviewing. I like to play with the toys. I don't get to watch them all the time, but I love to play with them.
So I watched Leo. I don't know if you guys saw that on Netflix. It's Adam Sandler animated movie about a turtle and a lizard that are in a classroom, in an aquarium. It's hilarious. You got to watch it. It's really good, actually.
I gotta
So
see.
it's pretty good.
Man, I'm like, the name is escaping me, but yeah, I think I don't know if I have that or not.
Yeah, no. It's really good. I watched it with my son over Easter break. So
that's what I was gonna say. I was like, it has to be like a kid friendly. If you
it's funny though. He's got Adam's. You know Adam Sandler's songs. You know he's got the funny songs and stuff like that. It's a style just like that. He's got some, but it's on Netflix. If you guys haven't checked it out, it's really good. So
I love Sandler, so I'll totally check it out.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess we've come to the end of the show. You want to round us out, Don?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you'd like to be a guest on this show, maybe I can get the email address right so that you guys can actually email us correctly. It is hometheaterhublive@gmail.com. So once again, that's hometheaterhublive@gmail.com. Feel free to email us and we'll get you on the panel. As you can see, we have people in and out of the show all the time. So I want to thank our guests today, Giles. Appreciate you for joining us, and
I lasted till the end. I did it, the whole thing.
Yeah, that's
through the lag and all.
I didn't last. I was like, I gotta take a break, guys.
Yeah, I want to thank Giles and also Adrian from Upscaled. We had John Anthony on here from Positron Hi-Fi. Also, thank him for joining. Thank you everyone for watching. We shall see you next week. If you guys are interested, come tune in next week because Upscaled Adrian is going to do a home theater tour. Really nice theater. So make sure that you guys tune in next week also. Appreciate everyone. Thank you so much and have a good night.
Good night.
Later.
Take care, everybody.